What up? What up?
Can they though?
They can.
All
In
right, let's
4K.
do a quick audio check then.
Mic sounds nice. Check one. My mic
Yep,
sounds
that
nice.
sounds
Check
good.
two.
Testing my own audio.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I sound terrible as always. Perfect.
All right, let's do this.
It is morphine time.
Morphine. How do you feel about drugs, David?
I mean, I feel like we had a podcast about that.
Did we?
Yeah, it was when we brought back the what was it, like almost a month and a half, 2 months ago about this now?
No, that was alcohol mostly. It wasn't necessarily full on. Like I'm talking like methamphetamines and crack cocaine. What's your opinion?
The heinous shit. I do believe that everyone should have a legal right to do what they want, so long as there is no harm being done to others. But at the same time, if you truly feel that that is what you need to get by in life, I feel like you should get some help beyond that.
I've never been part of that lifestyle, but it always trips me up when people just like randomly just mention, yeah, I do crack for like recreational use every now and then. And I'm like,
Yeah, I've been known to snort a line or two in my day, you know.
no, like there's people that are just like that mentioned to me before that like, yeah, I just do it. I'm like, I look at them like this looking like it's not that bad right now. I'm like, I guess it's just it feels like that natural progression of when people like eventually started just progressing up with what they do. I don't know how else to say it, but it was obscene. I was like, all right,
I
well,
mean, can you really say you've lived unless you butt chug Jenkum?
remember when Steve-O butt chugged beer and that went everywhere? You know,
Yes.
you were a Jackass guy, or you just happened to watch that?
No, I just saw it when it was making its rounds online.
Yeah,
I
let's say.
did not get into
I was
Jackass.
about to say you don't strike me as a Jackass kind of guy.
No, I am not. But every so often, it finds its way into my purview just because everyone's like, "I can't believe this shit," and it's like, "Yeah, I can believe it. It's
What-
fucking heinous, but
what-
I can believe it."
What's your view on Limp Bizkit?
He was down for the nookie.
That's not a view. What's your actual opinion of Limp Bizkit?
He was a guilty pleasure for me when I was
It's
younger.
a band, David.
Yeah,
Why do you keep saying he?
because it's basically Fred Durst. That's all there is to Limp Bizkit is Fred Durst.
So I've been on a weird ass rabbit hole of YouTube stuff. I've been trying to spice up from the whole scary, creepy Reddit stories because I already ran through the gauntlet of them. So I went back to watching a couple of those predator catching videos since that Gideon and Skeeter Gene posted they got EDP again. But
Yeah.
I've also been watching Brad Taste in music, and he just goes through like the worst like the most like poorly aged music and like he reviews like the top 100s of that stuff. But my cats are fighting. Yeah, EDP is at it again. Trey, are they doing a line right now? Hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. And so Limp Bizkit was something he came up, and I never liked Limp Bizkit. It seems too corny and stupid for me, but I'm listening to it, and I'm looking at the comments, and they're all like unanimously like, "Yo, I either hated Limp Bizkit or I ironically liked Limp Bizkit," but they both said, "But now I unironically enjoy Limp Bizkit," and I was like, "The fuck? Like, they actually like this?" And everyone's like, "Yo, they put on, like the best live show you can go to." And then even Brad was like kind of bumping his head on. I was like, "All right, the more I get into this, the more I like it," and I'm like, "Huh." And so I was talking with work spouse, and I was like, "You're a random inkling in my thought." I'm like, "What's your fiance's opinion of Limp Bizkit?" And she's like, "Oh, he loves Limp Bizkit." I'm like, I fucking knew it. I was like, "So tell him that we're gonna have a night where I want him to just sell me on Limp Bizkit."
Yeah, see, for me, I liked them when I was younger, unironically. Chocolate Starfish when that came out.
See,
on
it
the Hot Dog
sounds
Flavor
so
Water
fucking
was
stupid to me. Like it
It is.
sounds, but like like not like Weird Al level of stupid, like dumbass, like
Yes.
stupid. But I understand that that's another level of charm to it.
And also, it was being a wrestling fan. That song was like one of the hypest things for so fucking long
Limp
because
Bizkit
it
and
was
hype.
American Badass Taker's theme for a while.
Travis is Stone Cold versus The Rock WrestleMania 17 promo.
Exactly.
Do you actually know what that is when I say it that way?
That's a big fucking buildup because that was like their last of their big trilogy series.
Who won that?
The Rock won that because I mean technically both were leaving, but that was basically Austin's actual farewell. He ultimately walked out of the company not long after that. Then not long after that, also Rock ended up finally also going into Hollywood more full time.
But the final one and The Rock won.
Yes.
Damn, sucks to be Stone Cold. Al Presser looked like
they gave it to him because in one-on-one encounters, The Rock never really beat Austin.
Oh, okay, so that was his
cleanly.
redemption.
Yeah, so it was kind of one of those things that throughout their whole rivalry, The Rock never really beat him clean, and that was the first time and on the biggest stage, of WWE, where not only did he get a clean win against Austin, it was the win against Austin to get.
And now he has a clause in his contract that he can't lose a fight.
Right.
Al Presser,
or it can't be made to look weak.
Yeah, Al Presser looked like Fred Durst when he was younger. Says Trey 50. WrestleMania 50.
Oh, was 19 the last one? I could have sworn it was 17.
David getting checked on his. I can't check on my Gore. See, so it takes someone else to check David on his wrestling stuff.
Gore wouldn't remember either way.
Let's see. What was I gonna say on that?
Oh no, that's right. Because if I remember correctly, 18 was when they did the shitty NWO reboot for WWF, and that's where we had that really disappointing Scott Hall versus Austin match. Although a phenomenal fucking Hogan versus Rock match.
Hell yeah. Trivity says
Trey 50, I'm a pro wrestling nerd, I admit it. Mostly, at least the old school. Yeah, I like some of the newer stuff that's still coming out for wrestling. I have a love-hate relationship with WWE right now. Gunther is one of the best fucking performers, honestly, just bar none, period, right now. I love seeing Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens getting over in majors because I've been a fan of them since their indie days, back when they were Kevin Steen and El Generico. So seeing them actually growing and evolving and just being essentially faces of a company is really fucking wild to see. Also, sad that we lost Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt back to back. That was fucking rough as a wrestling fan.
Hey, and also rough. Smash Mouth, yo.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fucking no layers to that liver.
Yeah, well, I feel shitty bringing that up, but what's his name again? I didn't follow him particularly.
Shrek.
Yeah, shout out to Shrek. Steve Harwell.
That's it.
Yo, that's tough. He just had that drinking problem. We saw those videos a couple years back where he was like belligerent on stage. I was hoping that he would have got better off that, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And they mentioned like the background of All Star, which it's endearing, right? He mentioned that he was just kind of writing an anthem for all the people that wrote into him, saying, "Hey, if like an outcast, I'm a loser kind of at my school. We would just love to kind of have our own thing." And he kind of wrote it. And when you listen to the lyrics, like it's one of those like it's one of those corny ass songs from back in the day where if you actually listen to the lyrics are actually pretty like nice. Like it actually,
yeah,
it's actually kind of cool, right? Alternatively, you know, I realized before I get to that big shout outs, like that was tough, and alcohol's a fucking nightmare if you can't balance it in like a more proper way. But I didn't realize that I want it that way makes no sense.
What do you mean?
You ever read the lyrics for that?
No.
All right, hold up. I went down this rabbit hole and I didn't realize that song, literally, the lyrics just make 0% sense. Okay. The first bar. You are my fire, the one desire. Believe me when I say I want it that way. Okay. Cool. So far, so good. Next one. But we are two worlds apart, can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. What does that mean? And then
Going off the initial bits of lyrics, it feels like a story where it's kind of like you love someone, but that magic is kind of gone from it.
so
Where
you're,
it's
you're
like,
right there.
yeah,
So
that's really,
let's reel it back. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
You are my fire, the one desire. Believe me when I say I want it that way. What do you think they're saying right there? What is? Believe me when I say I want it that way.
Where you're almost reminiscing. It's less about that's what the moment currently is, and more that you're thinking about it in a nostalgic way.
Okay. Well, you say I think with that next. Okay, wait. We're still good. Okay. But we are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. What are they saying in that one? What is I when you say that I want it that way? What are you saying?
So, with the context of can't reach your heart, when you say, that makes it apparent that the other person in this relationship is not as in love and that they have drifted apart.
So let me clarify. What is the when I say what is the I want it that way? So is that what do you want? You want the reminiscing part, right?
Yeah, what I want is what it was. What you when you say you want it that way, that is implying that they want the separation.
So they want the separation. Where do you say that part from?
So okay, so if just breaking it down by those two lines with those contexts. So, but we are two worlds apart, can't reach to your heart. So already the person that is our narrator, so to speak, acknowledges that there is a distance that's grown between them, that they can't reach out to them in the same way. So now the implying line here, when you say that I want it that way, so there is a distance that's grown between them with the implication that being that that's the way you want it to be.
So you're saying that there's multiple things they're saying.
Yeah, because the first set of lines is the narrator being nostalgic. The second set of lines is the narrator reflecting on the gap that's happening because their partner wants it that way.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find your rationale here.
Because the way I think you're looking at it is that each line has quotation marks around it, where that's not the case. The quotation marks go around the when and end at the way. It's all one sentence.
I think the issue is that, well, first off, there is an inherent broken part of it because here's the issue: is that the guy was Swedish and they didn't have a way to actually translate this. For example,
Oh.
"Hit me, baby, one more time" was supposed to be "hit me up."
I thought that was implied.
No,
Yeah.
the guy that wrote
People
this,
didn't get that?
the guy that wrote this was Swedish and just didn't know how to, didn't have his proper English all the way down. So after that, he cleaned it up and all these songs made sense. But like particularly for those two, the translation got all fucked up. Um. So then, for example, then we go to the third one. We go to the chorus. So first one is you're saying the and I think the next up too is when he says that I. So your author's putting himself in the other person's shoes, but still referring to I in that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you say the first segment is them speaking. Second segment is referred to the other person, but then that also
Yes.
means the chorus is also referring to the other person because at that point, tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never want to hear you say I want it that way.
Correct.
Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way. What is but I want it that way?
They want that passion back. They want what they had back. I don't think this is as cryptic as you thought it was in your brain.
Yeah, because you're hopping back and forth between this now.
Yeah, because it's from multiple perspectives. It's hopping perspectives. It's clearly not following a single narrator's perspective. It's
So,
hopping perspectives.
am I your fire or your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way.
Yeah, so that
I
is
understand
still the narrator in the same section where he wants to know that there's still something there. He knows it's too late, that there can't be anything there, but he wants it to be.
And here's why I don't believe you. Is because we're asking someone of non English speaking that you're hopping in between narratives in multiple layers within the bar on a single pop song.
I think that the intent is 100% there, though. Like, it makes perfect sense.
No, it makes perfect sense if you're trying to look from a very thorough, deep, analytical, like, let's make sense of what this is. But it doesn't because, remember, it's a pop song. It's supposed to be super easy, understandable. And
But it's not written like a pop song. It's written like poetry.
it's a pop song. Like, the guy makes pop songs. Like,
It is a pop song, but it's written like a poem. Like, the bars and flow of it is a poem.
Oh, well, that's all songs. I get that. But, like, this is the same guy that wrote "I Kissed a Girl." Like, it's
sure.
very straightforward. Like, that's what I'm trying to say is you'd be hard pressed to find a single one of his songs that he's written that are actively like analyzed that need a deeper meaning outside of just what you see is what you get. Because
Maybe this was the one time where he's like, I'm gonna fucking say something here.
No, because even did you know actually that the Backstreet Boys rewrote this song?
I did not.
They actually rewrote this song with their own correct lyrics because they also realized we don't know what it means. It just did, I think it was called "No Goodbyes," and it has the same like they rewrote it with the same stuff, but like it was missing that "Tell Me Why" part. And everyone's like, yeah, this isn't as good just because it didn't have the "Tell Me Why" part. This part just like flows just better like off the tongue, but they did try to rewrite that with lyrics that actually made sense. Arguably more heartfelt than those two, but yeah. I understand what you're saying, but you're asking to flip narratives in the middle of a verse too.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I disagree.
Because it's not that it's entirely flipping the perspective. It's just that you are stating what your thought is. You're acknowledging that it's probably already too late because of the other person's thoughts and experiences. And then you're saying, but I would like it to not be too late.
Okay, I don't agree. English teacher does not agree.
All right.
Really quick though, what's your analysis? What when he says "Tell me why"? What is he asking to tell him?
Why it has to be that way.
You're that kid in class. I understand.
Where's the lie, though?
I mean, the lie is that everyone disagrees with you, even with the people that wrote it.
Fuck the
But I
police.
mean, music is subjective, right?
They don't know what's good for them. There's a reason why Death of the Author is such a prevalent concept.
Oh, hold on, real quick. Why can't it be like the good
All right.
old days? Hold on. Keep talk for like 4 seconds.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start reading through the chat here a little bit. Back to the good old days, essentially. It's a good day to Dave Hard. Every day is a good day to Dave Hard. Tell me why. Pop songs can be like a poem. Yes, 100%. A lot of them are written in such a way. I'm going to pour my heart out into the song just once. Why can't it be like the good old days?
I forgot to mention. I'm not gonna talk about stuff. But I did grab.
Hell yeah.
I feel like I need to dive into more of his actual. I feel like it's a more Oh, David, you haven't sung in a while. Can you sing? No, don't ask him that. Don't ask him that. Don't ask him that. No,
Turn me
no.
right, ain't nothing but a hand stick. Turn me right.
This is
I
unfortunate.
never want to hear you say, but I want it that way.
Can you believe that there was an artist named Uncle Cracker at some point in our history, and they just got away with that? That's wild. I can't believe that actually happened. uh, hey, do I need to look into like a lot of Pinhead stuff to understand this?
As long as you understand the basics of what Pinhead is, that is all you need to know.
Okay,
It will fill in the blanks otherwise.
All right, I'm excited.
All you need to know is Pinhead's a Cenobite, basically a demon. Hell is a giant labyrinth with a lot of law and order to it. That's all you need to know.
Wonderful. Pinhead from Hellraiser. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to give him a quick 30-second, 20-second spiel on what the Scarlet Gospels is when we talked about that last week?
Hell yeah. The Scarlet Gospel is one of my favorite exercises in a writer wanting to kill his own creation. So Clive Barker has been so sick over the years of Miramax and New Line Cinema and just everyone doing really shitty things with fucking Hellraiser and Pinhead just in order to maintain movie rights. Although I will say the Hulu remake, fucking fantastic. The Hulu movie was really good. I really like the direction they took with it. But he basically was so sick of everyone just fucking around with his character that he was like, fuck it. I am going to explicitly write a book that is going to embarrass and fuck with my character so fucking bad that no one will ever want to take this character seriously again. And that is what it is. It is quite literally the author wanting to embarrass, humiliate, and destroy his creation because he is so sick of other people using him.
And
it's fucking wild.
Yeah, and I read to David the comment on top from Entertainment Weekly, quote, "The Scarlet Gospels is Barker as most unhinged and indulgent," which David's like,
Yes.
Yep. The perfect revenge story, one would say.
Yes, literally. And it also has one of the wildest, most out of left field fucking endings that is just... It feels like so at home on like if you told me like Supernatural ended that way, but like yeah, I'd believe it. Like
Hey,
it's just
were you
so...
a Supernatural fan?
I hated Supernatural.
All of it?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I was seeing a girl way back when who liked Supernatural and wanted me to get into it, so I actually got into it, but I stopped after season 5, which was the natural, like, when they were supposed to end season.
Yeah.
And it felt good. And then I just curiously watched like, the next episode to see what happened. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I like it ending there. But I heard, what was that? I heard that it got shitty, then it got really good, and then it just fell off a little bit right towards the end.
The fiance will be able to explain it better than I, as she was along for that. She was ride or die. She had to see how it ended. Has gone through the series multiple times and still has not actually watched the last season.
Yeah,
So
unfortunate. David, did you get anything this week?
I got a bunch of shit.
Hell yeah.
So my phone broke and I had to buy a new one. And I did something I normally don't ever do, and I spent money on a phone. Normally I only ever spend usually like $100 to $200
Jesus
tops
Christ.
on a phone. Just because I expect to break them constantly, so I'm not fucking spending money on a phone.
How do you break your fucking phones?
Yes. This last one I dropped down a toilet, and then
They're
when I got it
waterproof.
back, let me finish. I had to take all the stuff off it so I could like clean it because I had peed in said toilet, so it dropped in pee water. So I had to take all the stuff off it and clean it, and then I just happened to drop it just right so that way it landed on the wheel of my office chair right in between the screen and the bezel, causing it to immediately spiderweb throughout the whole thing. So I had to go ahead and replace that. So I spent $700 on this phone. This is the most I have ever paid for a phone.
That's like pretty cheap for a phone nowadays.
Yes. And I got the Fairphone 4.
I've never fucking heard of that phone.
It's only in the UK. They only just recently started getting a distribution partner for the US.
Why?
For a lot of reasons, actually. One, it's de-Googled Android, so nothing
Holy shit.
Google related to it at
Now
all.
I realized, yeah, that was appealing. I bet 100%.
Two, everything about this phone is security conscious and security designed. It gives security ratings on every Android app compatible with it. You can go ahead and take a look at it. It has built-in Tor browsing. It has built-in location spoofing and IP spoofing. It has a lot of really interesting security features to it. It's a company that's dedicated to staying carbon neutral. And also, every single part of this phone is repairable. You can all it takes is a screwdriver to take this down to every little
Like
component.
a Steam Deck.
Exactly, like a Steam Deck. But no, and that's kind of what also really sold me on this is that even the screen, if I wanted to replace it, it's like $70 for a new screen for it, and it's just like a laptop screen. Just pull out the little ribbon cable, slap the new one in, call it a day. The battery's replaceable. The cameras are replaceable. Cameras are fine. I don't do any video with my phones. I don't take pictures, so I've never really cared. But they seem fine enough. The only thing that's a little weird to get used to is when you're using the camera, it doesn't automatically switch between which lens is most optimal for what you're trying to do. You have to manually slide through them all.
Everybody says, cute cat, it looks shocking, David. Yeah, that's his brain cell. He's not shocked, he's just processing.
That's one way to put it.
That's fair. I'm never gonna not rock iPhone at this point. I'm about over a decade into it.
That's the thing, because the fiance is stuck on iDevices, and I used one of her old iOS phones for a little bit while I was waiting for this new one to come in. And when you're in the whole garden of Apple, it all just works. It all works so fucking smoothly, and it's just so seamlessly integrated that wanting to get back out of it is such a nightmare. So if you're already in that kind of environment, all right, fine, fuck it. But I will never. I hated using that phone for the half a week I had to use it.
That's fair. The cameras are fantastic. Like I can.
Oh, 100%.
You can.
Anytime we have to take pictures, I make the fiance do it.
Yeah, like
they're just phenomenal. Honestly.
Yeah, like my videos look great, and you can do 4K 24 frames. So it's like for when we're doing the film projects, it's like I just have the kids use their phone because like literally like you could pull off like really good videos just off the phone at this point. Doesn't even like need anything else.
Surely there's a reason why a lot of like VTubers, they just use iPhones for a lot of their apps because the face tracking and a lot of the other video features are better than most webcams that you can get for your computer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's no point not to.
Mm-hmm. So,
congratulations! Yeah, so I got that. Thank you. The new screen protector will be in tomorrow, unfortunately, so it's got to go a whole day without anything happening to it. Got the Rhapsody 2 and 3 remastered collection there.
Hell yeah.
I didn't even know Rhapsody had a sequel, let alone 2 sequels. Interesting little RPG series from NIS. Then there was also this big boy that I got. So I ordered this last year when this went up for pre-order. This was a long wait for it to come in. I think I'm still one of the only people to have an unboxing for it, and I'm working on getting full scans of everything in it. And that is the Monument of Reincarnation, the collector set of the Shin Megami Tensei trading card game.
Nice.
So I was excited to get my hands on that. Go check out the unboxing if you like trading card games and whatnot. But otherwise than that, that is all the big stuff that I got. And then of course there was the Humble, monthly, which this is the next monthly bundle. Mid. Honestly, there's really nothing in this next monthly bundle that I'm excited about.
That's fair. I saw the unboxing and missing David's face though.
Hell yeah.
All right. Nice. What'd you play this week?
Did you not get anything?
No.
Hell yeah. What did I play this week? Fucking nothing.
Nice.
Hell
I finished some Control. A couple of the stuff, a couple of the missions at the end were glitched, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to like 100% that thing.
yeah.
Not a big deal. I got everything I needed out of it. It was kind of some extra bonus shit that is fine. Uh, I went through. I'm not gonna get up because I don't want to get up and ruin Sire's uh, resting period. But
Yeah.
I have that Control. I was talking to you about it. I have that Control limited edition art and making of book that I've had there sitting for since like August of 2020. So it's like almost 3 years it's been sitting there. So I was like, cool. Finally get a chance to crack that baby open and look at it. Open it up, flip through a couple pages. I'm like, this is nice. I wonder how much this is. Sold it on eBay for over $500.
Huh.
So I bought I think for $40. That book is hella rare. They made a reprint this last. Hey, don't read the wire. They had a reprint this last year, like during this year, I think a couple months ago, that they finally got out there. So, but it sold out like immediately. Um, they do have a Dark Souls trilogy set of books. Hold up one sec. Talk for like 2 seconds.
All right, let me go through the chat here. I wanted to replay Mass Effect 1 because I lost progress in Mass Effect 1 and 2, but I got Platinum on 1. Mass Effect 1 is still my favorite Mass Effect game. I played halfway through 2, never really actually played 3 aside from a little bit of the multiplayer. I still want to go through those games genuinely at some point. I'm curious to see what they changed up in Mass Effect 1. I played a little bit of it for Extra Life last year, but that was when I was on like the last 2 hours I had to do for Extra Life, so I don't even remember much of it just because I was so fucking exhausted.
Remember that. So yeah, I've been going through that, and it's fantastic. It's actually got a really good deep dive of everything that Remedy was kind of going through when it came to Control. It's making me love that game. Like it's turning into like it's cracking up there. It's cracking for sure top 25 at this point. It's wiggling its way up just by the more I read about it and like the intentionality of it. It really made me appreciate the brutalism of it. I never really thought about brutalism as a art piece. Do you know what that is like specifically?
Specifically, no.
Brutalism is like the painstakingly like monotonous but like concrete way of things, and they really juxtaposed the idea of brutalism versus like the bizarre. So it's like they really spent a long time on like how monotonous but familiar everything is, and then like made it so that like everything was just a little bit off to the point where eventually when you start diving in, where everything starts getting crazy, that's when things start getting like expansive understanding of things. Oh, there our things are changed at Becky. Shoutouts. Why is our names changed again? The fuck?
It's fine.
It's gonna take a little while. Fucking hell. I'm gonna change it here in a little bit. Whenever David's talking. And then yeah, so it's fantastic the way it's diving in there, and I was showing David that so many of it's funny because so many of the of Remedy just fans of Twin Peaks, which makes sense, but a lot of them also just love House of Leaves, which is funny. Like they all have listed on their list of inspirations / loves, and it's House of Leaves. So I really want you to play Control someday. I know the stop and go action is not your thing. I just feel like the gameplay is so much better than everything else, and like the story is just really good. But I know you're gonna hate the stop and go action of it, so it's throwing for a loop. I don't know if you're gonna hate the game or like it. I don't know if you would love it, but
I think it'd probably fall basically where Alan Wake did, where I'm like, yeah, conceptually I like elements of it, but
sure. But yeah, that's where I was with that. Let me change the names here before I speak my next thing because I am not the best at multitasking this stuff off rip. Let's see. I don't know why that changed. We literally, as far as I'm aware, as far as I'm aware, the cameras stayed. Anyway, um, I was talking to David, and I'm not gonna get into it off. Oops, almost. I was talking to David about this, and I'm not gonna get into it off or on the stream. But I have a bit of a not dire emergency for me per se. But there's some stuff going on that we may, and I know we were like super strict on like we need to get the timing for Games Gone By down, but there was an emergency that was very, very not anticipated for, which may throw off Games Gone By. We'll see. I'll talk about it more. I think by Friday or Saturday I'll have an understanding as to where. What's up?
The only downside would be we would then lose the perfect timing of Final Fantasy VII on 9/11.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 on 9/11.
Exactly. A game about eco-terrorists blowing up towers.
Yeah, so there may be a couple days or even a week delay on that. We'll see. I am chugging through. David, I think you misunderestimated, or I think you severely underestimated how long Midgar is just for new persons playthrough. Because I was curious, because I just got out of Midgar, and I'm like 7 hours in.
Are you stopping to grind?
No, but I looked online too, and like people, I looked online, I just googled how long to get out of Midgar, and like only 1 or 2 people said 3 hours. Like everyone else, like 5 to 8 hours to get out of Midgar. People were saying, like on average. So I think if you just know everything and know exactly where to go and don't really like take time on the dialogue, or you might die here or there, I think you're gonna spend more than 3 hours. You're right though, and like how short it is comparatively to FF7 for sure. Like that makes sense. But like,
Yeah.
at least where I'm at, I was looking at, I looked at a like I always do this for every game. I look at like a full length, like uncut walkthrough of the entire game, and the guy on online was about 5 hours when he got out of Midgar. So I'm like in a just mandatory like pretty quick 20-hour playthrough. I'm like 5 hours in. So I'm getting my way through there, but yeah, I just got out. Damn, it does go through some things. I think I don't want to get too deep into it, but I'll say this one thing at least because I had it on my mind. I think the tower scene for this in OG hits harder with the deaths.
Yes.
I think unless I hope they do something, which I'm presuming they do, but I hope they do something with the whole Avalanche crew this next time, because if they don't, I think that was cheapened. I think
Yes.
Even though you didn't know the characters, which actually arguably would have made it better in remake if you did lose them, because you knew a lot more about them and it had a lot more weight to it.
Yes.
But the fact that you just barely knew them kind of threw it off. But it was like it put a lot of weight to you get up there and you get like their last words like, "Hey, Cloud, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you. Go save them." And then, boom, and you're out. And I think it's like it's pretty. I forget how remake had it, but like those cutscenes could. First off, by the way, kids playing FF7 is kind of wild to me, because like straight up like that scene where the cross dress scene, and they just have Dawn just straight up humping the bed just there. Just I'm like, damn, if I was like 7 or 8 years old, I'd be like,
yeah, that's what I grew up on. That's when I first started playing it.
You're
7 or
right.
8.
That's pretty wild. But yeah, like that cutscene probably would have not scarred me, but like would have left an imprint in my brain, where it's like you see the whole like when you see just Seven just about to fall on just like those like two characters, like just two NPCs just look up and see the whole place crashing down on them. Like, damn, that would fuck me up probably a bit as a kid.
Yeah, it all hits so much harder. Again, now you have a better grasp of my anger with how that transpires in the remake.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I hope something happens with Avalanche that pays that off and makes it worthwhile. But like, the fact that everyone got out, right? I'm pretty sure did not.
So in the remake, Jesse gets out. It's implied, And Wedge 100% got out until he was yeeted out of Shinra Tower by the Wraiths. But Jesse and Biggs, it's implied at the end that they're still alive.
So everyone made it out.
Except for now, potentially Wedge, because he got yeeted out of Shinra Tower by the Whispers.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but for all intents and purposes, everyone essentially made it out of that, which cheapened how that went. Like, at least someone should have went there, if not two. I understand that Jesse was everyone's favorite for a bit. Sure, keep one of them, but like, the fact that they all made it out definitely cheapened it in hindsight.
Yes.
They didn't really matter.
And again, also the fact that like, and I harped on it a lot in the thing, but like, it really bothered me with the bombing mission that in the remake, they're like, oh well, we didn't intend for it to go off, but then Shinra's like, ah, fuck it, blow it up. You know, taking away the ownership of causing that damage from them.
Sure. But I mean, it cheapens it, but also like, you don't really know who that crew is. They're just, I still know them primarily from remakes, so like, I guess it doesn't really matter as much. But I digress. I don't want to talk more about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it in the games gone by. But that was my big observation at first, where it was like, the scene's actually pretty nice. Like, actually like how intense it is. Like, just walking up. I you know what? I'll say that. I can't recall. Yeah, no. Yeah, and remake, it was a full on gameplay session where you're just like walking through and everything, and you have to like fight through like levels, as far as I remember. I didn't like that. I like it. You just walk up there and you see everyone as you walk up, spiral up there, and like you talk to each character on their way up there as they're like dying.
Yeah, there's just bodies everywhere as you're running up.
The three that you know, you talk up there as they're dying, and that's it. And I think
also now you got to see the bloodbath that was the incident at the Shinra HQ, because you said you're out of Midgar now, right?
Yeah, with Genova or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
See, now it changed back. What the fuck?
Huh. That's weird.
All right, no, we're good now. What the fuck? Did something just reboot? That's so fucking weird. All right, we're good now.
Are we good now?
Yeah. Hey, hit us with a one in chat if you can hear us. Maybe not. You want to go check real quick? Oh, you can hear us.
Yeah. Okay. So
It's
we
good.
are good.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right. Perfect.
That's so weird. What the fuck? Shinra stopping.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think remake's a little bit too far from my brain right now. That I'm forgetting some of the stuff. But yeah, that was new. You got some twos, threes. You got an N in chat. You got 4. But yeah, no, it's a good time so far. But I think now that I'm out of Midgar, it's gonna be nice to have a new game to play.
Yes.
But yeah, so I've been playing FF7, finished up Control. I'm trying to think if I've played anything else. No, but I am excited to try some other stuff too, because I've been itching to just knock out some more of this backlog stuff. All right, with that said, is there news this week that we want to talk about?
Good question.
I don't recall there being anything I really care to. A person diving into League of Legends recently. How do you feel? Are you angry? Let's see. Don't really care too much. It's just a lot of Starfield stuff that we haven't played. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Let's skip past that. Hey, David, let's go back. We promised it for weeks. We gotta be people, the fans.
We are finally going to do crack cocaine live on this podcast.
Yeah, we alluded to it at the beginning. We're getting to it now. We're gonna go through your fighting game roster and dip out because I do want to play some more FF7. and it's been a
Yes.
very long day, and I just kind of want to veg out in bed and play some. So
Understandable.
let's go into his fighting game roster, and David, we're gonna recap for the people. What did we do here, and what are we gonna do?
All right, so we went ahead and went on a crack-fueled ride of, let's say I got to make my own versus game, where I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to have a bunch of my favorite fighting games represented in a big-ass crossover. And what we initially did was I kind of let my brain run wild with picking the cast that I want, but then I said, no, I can't just pick what I want. I have to be a man of the people. I have to balance this roster with a little bit of what I want, a little bit of what the fans would expect, and a little bit of those weird odd choices, because that's part of the fun of a crossover game, is the weird odd choice that makes their way in there.
Sure.
So that's what we did, is we created a list from a bunch of fucking fighting games, basically all the ones that were on the top of my brain as I was making the list.
Right, and so you have a rhyme or reason to each. So each fighting game got 5 characters. We had a meticulous balance. So I think the balance was actually pretty solid. Like it's still looking at it. We kind of nailed it. You had a balance where it was, you want to be selfish, you want to keep someone that you want in there. You want the fans, you wanted a good and a bad person, and you wanted the meme character.
Yes.
That was kind of your 5, and if they kind of mishmashed together, if your meme character was like your character, that kind of blended into, but you wanted like a mishmash of like, and then new and old blood. That was a big one too.
Yeah.
So we had a meticulously balanced like those 6 factors, and make them into 5 people on this roster. So we went through with 5 each, and also play style too, actually. So I mean 7. Then we did a lot of balance. There's a lot of considerations for each of these. We had to go through. We went back and revamped here or there, but let's go through it. So Street Fighter, David. We're actually, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go in, and David gets 1 DLC fighter for each. Now, David, tell me now. Is there a rhyme or reason for this DLC fighter? Are we just doing just someone you missed, someone that you wanted, or what? What do you think? Think of it like in DLC, and let's say like you're like, oh, you let's fucking fighting game. Oh, but you hear 1 DLC for every representation. What do you think the fans want? What do you think is a good middle ground for that? What do you think?
The choices I'm picking are in a category. They're weighted, so it's a weighted scale of like, okay, so what am I still potentially missing for representation in the base 5 picks? What would get a pop off? What would get a reaction? Not necessarily a pop off, but a reaction. And what would just kind of feel like it would just be interesting to see in there.
Sure. And so we had a balance. We didn't have Smash on here. There was no oh, sorry, there's one game that we're missing for sure. What game were we missing? Dragon Ball.
I think
That was
Smash
the big one.
was the big one.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that's yeah,
And-
technically, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I do want Dragon Ball on here, but like, I feel like it's the cast is pretty rock solid as it is, you know, like. So
Plus, also, I don't think like, yes, Dragon Ball Fighter Z is a solid fighting game, but it's not what I think of when I think of a fighting, like a legacy of fighting games.
Sure. So that's like our big omission in terms of fighters. Smash on here because we're gonna just deal with the fact that it's totally out of the realm. Like, yeah, we have 2D and 3D fighters, but like Street Fighter Cross Tekken shows that we can somehow implement that together. But like, I don't want to incorporate a whole Smash thing. That would be revamping the whole character in a fighter, and that's too much. April also has another thing too. Yeah, you want that reaction to pop up, but what would get people to spend money? Let's be rational about this. Are we gonna put our work into a fighter that no one's gonna actually pay for? How are we gonna do that? So, Street Fighter, we're gonna go lip by lip. So let's talk about our rationale with Street Fighter. David, we have Ryu, Chun-Li, Zangief, Dudley, and JP. How do you feel about that now? Would you change anything out of that now that we're 3 weeks out? How do you feel about that without even DLC talked about?
I think that's a solid list if you add one interesting caveat to it.
Okay.
And that one interesting caveat is because this is a crossover game, we bring back an old crossover game mechanic for Ryu.
Okay.
In Marvel vs. Capcom 1, Ryu had a fascinating mechanic where he technically was Ryu, Ken, and Akuma, and could switch between the different styles.
That's so stupid. Why? Because they just didn't want to.
That we got representation. People are like me and like Ken, and not necessarily Ryu or Akuma, and people like Kuma, but not necessarily that.
Does that sacrifice
What better
anything?
way to get?
Do you have to sacrifice like a button or something to like?
It's a bar meter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you spend a bar meter and you just switch to the other character.
Okay. So.
Which, if I remember correctly, in MVC 1, you always start with a bar meter anyways.
Fighting styles or costumes? I think it's fighting styles.
It's all the fighting styles.
Now,
so.
Yeah, so really quick before that, though. How do you feel about this roster? What's your rationale with the roster? So,
Ryu, Chun-Li, you can't have Street Fighter representation without those two.
Okay.
You just can't. That is the king and queen of fighting games. Not the first man, but of what we consider fighting games today. Those two are the pinnacle of what laid the foundation for everything.
Okay.
You gotta have them. Zangief, again, he is that traditional staple grappler. Everything that is designed for grapplers in fighting games is owed to Zangief. Dudley is not necessarily the staple of what created the boxer archetype. That would be Balrog. But Dudley is a newer representation. He is that Street Fighter 3 representation.
You wanted to give love to Street Fighter 3 like a certain Capcom isn't right now.
Exactly. And he is also that archetype that is, it's still a classic archetype, but it's a newer generation of character for it. And then for our villain, we went with JP, just because he is the latest villain, technically, I guess. But he also represents an archetype that we don't have a lot of in Street Fighter, which really is that hard zoning, just lockdown zoning. There are some characters with zoning options, but his playstyle
primarily
really is
a zoner. He's like, do not touch me.
He is about locking your ass down in place.
All right, David, you get one DLC fighter. You said Ryu's kind of in there, and you would give him that switching ability.
I would give him that old mechanic, because otherwise everyone's gonna be like, "Where's Akuma?"
Sure. Okay, but now, where's your idea with this? What's this 5-character roster missing? And then I also want to take into effect that during this like 2-hour talk that we made this, we have that story mode in there. This is a sick. I think this is a sick quad or a sick quintuple to go into a story mode. I think JP, yeah, he's not necessarily like a big bad, but he's got some suaveness to him that can kind of I see JP and like Wesker getting along more than I see like JP and or more than I see like Wesker and like and Bison, like I don't or like Akuma. Like Akuma is kind of a little bit too like heavy.
Akuma is that prototypical I just want to fight the strong. I am just here to fuck shit up.
And JP's, we don't know too much about JP still, but like he's got that like brain. You can tell he's always thinking. He's always trying to think ahead, and that's where I would put like Wesker stuff. So like, yeah, JP doesn't really seem like that, but he's completely new blood, and he's got some potential to him. So that's our quintuple going into there. How are we gonna add to this, David? What are we gonna add?
I think there's a newer blood character that needs to be here. I debated putting Cammy in here because again, she has another. She is that legacy character that a lot of people would want. Again, next to the same level of Akuma, where people would be like, "Where's Cammy?" But we need to have a little bit more newer blood in here. And let's be honest, if we're talking newer blood female characters, there is one character that this roster is missing.
Aki.
Exactly.
Oh, really?
No, we need Jury.
Okay, Jury. Yeah, that's fair. You actually go with that. Damn, that's crazy. All right. Jury. And that's a selfish pick for David, too, because he's been wanting.
And it's also slightly a selfish pick, because she is my other main. Oh, fucking peak still.
Okay. Mortal Kombat, David. Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Raiden, Jade, Onaga. First off,
this was.
How do you feel about this? Let's go. So, first off, how do you feel about it? What was your rationale? What do we need? So, how do you feel about this?
So the harsh part about Mortal Kombat is even even NetherRealm Studios is kind of struggling with like moving beyond legacy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what is reflected in this roster. 3 characters were in the very first game of this 5-character roster, and the second character was in the second game. So there's only one that represents, air quotes, the modern 3D era of the series, and that's Onaga. The other harsh part of Mortal Kombat is because they've done so many continuity reboots and whatnot, that you can honestly take any character here, and aside from Onaga, put them in the hero or the villain category, because depending which game it is, all of them belong in either category.
Sure.
So, with that in mind, I think... Go ahead.
So so that was your how you feel about it, or your rationale?
That's how I feel about it. It's a really hard roster to pick from.
So your rationale behind these were what?
So my rationale is, again, kind of like when it comes to Ryu and Chun-Li in Street Fighter, you can't have Mortal Kombat without Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Mortal Kombat 3 proved that at release. People were pissed that you had Sub-Zero but not Scorpion. People were fucking livid that you would release Mortal Kombat without him. Ever since, that's why we got Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. They went back like, oops, our bad, and just updated the roster with more characters to get people back into it again. You cannot have Mortal Kombat representation without those two. Raiden was another character that I picked because, again, depending on the continuity, he's like either like an Elder God, or now with the brand new game, he is essentially the new Liu Kang. It's a cyclical nature where now Liu Kang is in Raiden's role and Raiden is in Liu Kang's old role. So it's kind of one of those things where this is a roster where a lot of it is predominantly legacy, but it's a roster where if you just pick them from different timelines of Mortal Kombat, there's a lot of interesting ebb and flows to character choices with it.
Okay.
And then as for my DLC, this is where the hard part is because, again, aside from Onaga, the pretty much this entire roster is all legacy characters. These are all old legacy characters. And Mortal Kombat,
Rest in peace,
more than Street Fighter. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say rest in peace because I think I have the old format here. I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit so people can actively see. I've been trying to figure this out for a while. Ooh, doo-doo-doo. Does it have to be that big? What the fuck? Okay, yeah, I think I could see that. I need to zoom in a little bit more. David can see that.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, and then I'll fix names here in a little bit. Continue.
All right. So that's where my brain was kind of going back and forth on is, do we add more of the new blood into here because this is severely lacking new blood? Or do we do what, honestly, a lot of the vocal Mortal Kombat fan base want, which is more legacy?
It's weird because they can't shake it.
No, they can't. Honestly, Mortal Kombat 1 has the most mixture of new blood characters in it in quite some time, and I feel like there's some people that are very happy to see like Reiko and potentially Natara, if the leaks are correct, which all of them have been up to this point, and some other newer blood characters. But it's still one of those things that kind of like what Crazy A Pepperoni said in chat. Melina, where's Melina? Again, even Ed Boon brought it up in an interview recently. He was like, fucking everyone keeps asking for Melina, so we had to just bite the bullet and throw it in there because we're sick of hearing people asking where's Melina. So that way they can move on to the next character, which is actually Jade, which I do have in this list here. So that's the kind of harsh question is, what do we do? And I think, honestly, as much as I do want more new blood in here, I think that when it comes to Mortal Kombat, especially if you're wanting the pop off, you have to go with the old school crowd. And I think that while Melina definitely has a very loud and vocal fan base, I think there is a character that really should be here that is not here on this list. When I think of big, just when you think Mortal Kombat, these are the characters you kind of think of. There is one baddie missing from this list that would also feel a character style niche that is kind of missing here, and that is Shang Tsung. Because now you gotta if you go with traditional
SHANG dash
dash TSUNG if I remember correctly.
is it dash or is it 2 words?
I think there is a dash.
Okay.
It's one of those things that if you go classic Shang Tsung, not like entirely because you wouldn't be able to just have them on the fly change through all these character styles, but if you bring in an element of him where he still has like move stealing abilities and things like that, it adds an interesting character fighting style that you're missing. Or maybe you even could treat him like a Mokujin, where he just straight up doesn't have his own style and he pulls from the others. But there's a lot you can do with him, and again, he's such a iconic legacy Mortal Kombat character that it does feel wrong not having him there.
Sure. All right, so your final Mortal Kombat roster of this is going to be Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Raiden, Jade, Onaga, and Shang Tsung is the now DLC. So let's move on. SNK, Terry, Mai, Raiden, Angel, Geese Howard. I remember Geese Howard. I had to fight for that one.
You did, and I am glad I listened to you because I feel like he did need to be there. But
that's a clean roster though. If Quintuple have to go in there, or yeah, Quintuple have to go in there. I think there's a solid crew rocking up there.
So this is where again, King of Fighters is in that weird limbo category where people really do enjoy having new blood, but there's so many legacy characters to King of Fighter that a lot of people would demand some of the older characters in there. So I think also for King of Fighters, I do have to go ahead and lean a little bit towards the legacy again. The harsh part is...
So sorry, I want to go through 3 things. How do you feel about it? What was your rationale?
How do I...
That's the 3 things. How do you feel about it? What's your rationale? What do we need? I want to go through those 3 questions for each of these rosters. So how do you feel about it? Like, looking at that, you said you...
How I feel about it? I think that's solid. I think that is... If someone was coming from, like, old SNK games and coming from new SNK games, they would both be able to look at this roster, and aside from maybe Raiden, which that's the only one where I'm kind of on just because we already have a Raiden that could be a confusion
thing. We have our
but...
meme character in here?
We don't have our meme character. He is going to be... we'll talk about him in a second.
Okay.
But no, and Mortal Kombat doesn't have a meme character. Honestly, I kind of want to throw Meat in as the DLC character, just to like really play up to it, because that would be some goofy shit that NetherRealm Studios might do. But I feel like, again, playing to the audience a little bit, I think you need to have Shang Tsung there. And
April already says, should we add a Sam Show character in SNK roster, or what are you thinking? Sam Show is actually we're missing some Sam Show representative actually. Now that
we are missing. Yes, we're missing pretty much everything other than like Fatal Fury, Real Bout, and Guru Mark of the Wolves. Like this is basically what this roster is like the 3 primary fighting games of SNK prior to really just being King of Fighters, and it is partially intentional. Mostly being because I think aside for Homaru, there really isn't outside of the fighting game community recognizable Samurai Showdown characters.
But that'd be kind of hype though. You're getting a whole game series crew in there.
Maybe that's what that. See, that's the other thing. Maybe we hold on to Sam Show characters, and that's a DLC package, just Sam Show.
I
Here's the
don't know. Are you
here's the
gonna?
new representation DLC. Like if I was a crazy fighting game developer adding to this, that's the other thing you gotta keep in the back of your pocket there. Is like, what if we can get a whole nother game added to the roster as DLC? Here's your Sam Show pack, and that's just bam, Samurai Showdown. What if Smash? Here you go, bam, your Smash DLC roster.
Boo. All right, so we're not adding Sam Show in this. Is that
We're not gonna have Sam Show added in here. I've already thought about it.
okay?
And I'm gonna go a little bit with a legacy pick. I went back and forth on this, on doing a kind of jokey character and on kind of doing a legit character. But I feel like this character has so much legacy to King of Fighters and has so much mixed emotions from people when they reminisce on King of Fighters that I would be forgiven for putting him on here. And this is a beast of an individual that is a little bit of a joke. And that is Rio. We have to put Rio in here. The character that was meant to parody Ryu that gave birth to Dan. You can't have these two series interacting without bringing in that kind of jokey-ish character that represents that legacy and that history between these companies.
Does that make you rethink your Mortal Kombat now if there's no meme character in there?
I would in my heart I want to make the DLC character meat.
I mean,
because I want to
you
give
want
them.
to do, David. You're the one that's doing this.
I think that again, I am also at my heart a man of the people.
But now look, is now Mortal Kombat the only one without a meme pick?
We'll get to
We'll
that.
come back if there isn't, then we have to go back and David's not a fan of improper balance. Is there even a meme character in MK? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's tons of meme characters in Mortal Kombat. There's fucking there's Meat, there is what's his Mocap. Fucking what's his name there? There's one of
Freddy?
the demon dudes. Yeah.
All right, David.
All right.
Our
so
trio
let's see.
questions. How do you feel about it now? What do you was it? How do you feel? What was your rationale, and what would you do?
Oh, this was the hardest one to do. Oh, this was again.
Kazuya,
I'm sitting.
for the people out there. We have Kazuya, Nina Williams, Azucena, Armor King, and Ogre. I had to fight. This was the most vicious one that I had to fight David on because David was fighting hard for Roger Jr. But I had to let him know that hey, I tried to get Pan in there. He wouldn't have it. I still disagree. I by the way had my students watch some videos and they're I got a lot of Panda mains. I gotta tell you that there's a lot of Panda mains in my classroom. But also I wasn't gonna fight you on that, but I had to argue in there that we needed new blood because if you had Pan in there, we would just had no new blood, and we had to get Nina Williams was also one that we had to cut for a second. So Azucena was our new blood, which is literally you can't get newer than not even released yet. So
Fair.
that's about that. But David, how do you feel about it?
Fucking, this is such a hard like of all the rosters, I feel like this one was the hardest one to really shrink while keeping its identity. Because I feel like a part of Tekken's identity is its massive sprawling roster where like not having some people does really feel wrong in so many ways. And that's part of why we do have making the ballsy choice to not have Hayachi or Jin, and it's just Kazuya.
I love the idea that the Bears getting Heihachi's moves. Did you see that?
Yes.
That's fantastic. that's the most Tekken ass thing I ever see. I think I told that to my students, and one of them said that's the worst day I ever heard. I love it. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of Tekken. So what's the dumbest idea you can get of? We'll make it work. What was your rationale behind this?
Kazuya, you have to have a Mishima. straight up. You can't have a Tekken representation without a
Yeah,
Mishima.
let's get. I
Uh,
think Heihachi's the most popular,
yes.
but Kazuya is the most relevant.
Especially now, Kazuya is the most relevant. He has essentially taken his father's place as the big bad Mishima at this point. And while Jin, there's a strong argument to have Jin in there, I think that that balance of legacy and modern relevancy, you need Kazuya. And
You
when
got
you
to
have
smash.
Kazuya, you have to have Nina.
And that's a duo right there. We broke them apart originally. It just didn't feel right with me. It just
It really didn't.
did not feel like you can get away with that. So that's there. We mentioned Azucena. That's our meme pick, but also our new blood. So we were able to knock out two birds, one stone with that one.
And also, we're both biased on that one.
Yes.
Armor
King.
That is both our new main.
Yes, indeed. Armor King, David.
Armor King, I feel like again the roster always should try to have some kind of grappler in there where applicable. And while King is the immediate thought, and I wanted to go with a little bit less of an obvious choice, the other less obvious choices would be like JC or Murdoch. And while JC, I toyed with the idea of a little bit.
It's gotta be King or Armor King.
Yeah. Again, a little bit of that legacy, a little bit of that modern.
Coffee later, yeah, Pepperoni. I was saying is Coffee Queen. And
yes.
Ogre.
And Ogre, it's all Ogre now. Just again, that kind of classic, relevant villain for that. It's basically not a Mishima for Tekken, to the point when we got Street Fighter Cross Tekken, Ogre was one of the villains to represent Tekken.
Sick ass trailer, by the way.
Yes.
Ogre versus Akuma. Sick ass trailer.
Fantastic.
Kind of feels weird they can't get their run back actually now that I think about it, but you know, stuff has to move on.
David, so with that in mind,
where are we headed with this DLC character?
So Crazy A Pepperoni is in fact right that I still want Roger Jr. on this list. I do still want you're jumping the gun here. Do I still want Roger Jr. here? Of course I do. But I understand. I can't always have what I want.
It's not gonna be a pop. I think if you get Tekken, this is. I'll be honest with you, David. I understand because I was about to say. You see the Tekken crew here. They're all right. What's our DLC fighter? They'd be let down. I'm sorry. They'd be let down if Roger Jr. is the one rolling up here for DLC.
And that's why I said, one of the things that I am using this for is I'm definitely looking for the pop. I'm also looking for reaction. Not necessarily a pop, but a reaction. Oh, man, if only. Dr. Bosanovich, that's right. I almost thought Devil Jin. I genuinely did almost think Devil Jin. But
imagine. Are we pissed?
No, I do know who I need to put here. Exactly, Negan. No, again, this falls into the category of again, we're getting a reaction with this one.
Here it is, Julia.
No, we're not going with Julia. We're not going for a pop. We're going for a reaction.
Tekken fans are going to be in shambles in a second.
Lucky Chloe.
I was going to actually type that, just didn't want to. Why Lucky Chloe?
We got some new blood. We got a character that would definitely get a reaction, and we get a little bit of that representation of the Muay Thai style. Not Muay Thai, goddamn, Capoeira.
All right, Lucky Chloe. You know what? Yeah, I'll take it. That's fine. Soul Calibur. David.
So this is another hard one.
Run it through again. Same three.
All right, so Yoshimitsu, it's kind of one of those things, if he's not in Tekken, he's in Soul Calibur. You kind of need him one way or the other if you have both franchises here.
What's his... I don't think I literally ever looked into it. What's his lore? Why is he hopping?
Yoshimitsu is a kind of like ninja samurai, where he comes from a long line of descendants of Yoshimitsu's that
It's not the same
they
one.
no, they're not all the same one. And they basically are, most of them are like good bandits. Some of them are crazy, insane cyborg assassins. Some of them are just like, I'm the Robin Hood type, where I'm going to steal from the rich and give to the poor and save people and whatnot.
Is there
Uh,
a history behind why this is happening?
oh no, ask Harada. And we all know what happens when you ask Harada.
I'm curious. Like, what was it? Just like them drinking out one day and like, we should have the same character in our game. 'Cause why the fuck not?
Oh,
I'm gonna look that up real quick. Continue talking.
all right. But yeah, so if he wasn't going to be in Tekken's roster, he had to be in Soul Calibur's roster, and I feel that because Soul Calibur is the weapon fighting game, it made more sense for Yoshimitsu to be part of the Soul Calibur list. Nightmare, again, synonymous with Soul Calibur. You're either going to have Siegfried or you're going to have Nightmare, and I feel like you need to have Nightmare in this instance. Taki, it's Taki. I mean, she's the most iconic, aside from maybe Sophidia, the most iconic Soul Calibur female character. Charade, a little bit of a jokey kind of character, a little bit
spelled
of
like that.
yes,
Got it.
a little bit of a jokey character in Charade. So I picked him for that reason. Plus, again, he adds that kind of play style of like that shapeshifter or the randomizer kind of character. And Zasalamel was there for a little bit more of the newer blood representation. Also, again, a more unique character, unique play style. Just adding in something different to the roster that we weren't getting a lot of otherwise. So now when it comes to the DLC, though.
Oh wait, my bad. I thought you. I was told. I'm reading this. I thought you. I thought you said Taki was in. I was like, let's say. I was like, I thought you put Taki in.
Yeah, no. I was going over the explanations of those characters still.
My bad.
Yeah, no worries. At this point here is where we have to have the conversation of, okay, so who else do we throw in here? And I feel like there needs to be a little bit more of that kind of in-between legacy. So like Zasalamel is like an in-between legacy. He was someone introduced in 3 that has been a very prominent character since, but Soul Calibur has not had successful new blood characters. They just really have not had a lot of new blood stand on their own. So we need a character that has been around at least a little while. I debated putting Tira in this list just because she is that kind of prankster, Harley Quinn-esque character with an interesting stance style system of play. But I do feel like we need to have a bit more staying power. And there is a character that I feel like a lot of people would want in this roster. It's not who I would want. I fucking hate dealing with this character. This character is an obnoxious piece of shit.
Why did I not realize you can make Devil Jin in Soul Calibur 5?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, how the fuck did I not know that? Weird.
Speaking of Soul Calibur 5, we are going to go ahead and add in the fucking Assassin's Creed representation character in here. We're going to put, what was it, Altair in there or whatever the fuck he was. No, I'm fucking kidding.
Let's say, what the fuck, David? You gonna do it like that?
We are going to, in fact, put in Geralt of Riviera. We're putting him in this list. No.
Imagine.
We're putting in one of the banes of my fucking existence. We're going to put in Keelik.
Spell it?
I think it's palindrome. I think it's Kilik. He's this shitty bastard with the fucking bow staff.
Why?
Because literally everyone fucking loves Keelik. People like playing.
The one you're like,
Keelik.
all right, fuck it, shut the fuck up. Leave me alone.
Yes, this is me throwing a character in there because
You doing Harada.
let's face it, if I'm doing a presentation, if we're at Evo on grand final stage, be like, all right, we're gonna announce 3 DLC characters for this game, and I just went ahead and showed off Lucky Chloe. You bet your ass I need a fucking character that people actually like to follow up Lucky Chloe.
Yeah,
with.
otherwise you get your ass kicked. All right. Sounds good. All right, David. We moving on?
All right. Next up is Killer Instinct. And this roster pretty much was the pinnacle of who do I even pick? Like, I want Killer Instinct here. Fulgor, Glacius, Spinal, 100% I knew had to be here. Beyond that, I was like, I could pick anyone. It all equals the same for me here. But I do feel like if we're going to go ahead and bring in some representation of Killer Instincts, I think that Killer Instinct being the Smash game of Microsoft allows us to bend the rule a little bit.
Okay.
I think Killer Instinct is where we get to bend the rules of what is considered a Killer Instinct character. And we get to go ahead and pull from the Aether a little bit more than what we have.
Con Ross is a pepperoni?
On what?
Con Ra?
No.
Battletoads?
I almost picked Battletoads. I did almost go with Rash.
Didn't we have Rash
But I
already?
think... I
We
don't
already
think we
have
have
Rash
Rash.
in
No.
guests.
Oh, he is in guest?
Yeah.
Fuck! Damn it! I ruined the president then. I can't do that. Damn it!
Yeah,
I played myself!
Our guest is all guest characters from within the last games.
Fuck! I played myself. God damn it.
He was getting ready.
You know what? In that case, then, I think this is a situation where we do have to go ahead and put in a slightly newer blood. I think we put in Mira, honestly. She had a rather unique style, was pretty interesting. 1R.
Yeah, okay.
And as much as Orchid feels like the more obvious choice, that's I want to throw in a little bit of new blood. So,
Sure.
doing
All
that.
right, Mira. David, Marvel, how do you feel about this right now?
Fucking, it's how do you just pick Marvel? You know, that's like picking your favorite child. It's so hard.
I feel like the thing that suffers from is too much X-Men, David.
There is, and that's why
Wolverine.
it's taking everything in me not to put Wolverine in here, genuinely.
I think
but
that's
no,
the issue I have with it. It's too much X-Men stuff. Like
It is too much X-Men.
We need to
There's
step
3
away.
X-Men. We don't need 3 X-Men, but we do need 3 X-Men.
The Thing.
But no. We do have to pick a more obvious choice here, but we're not gonna pick the obvious choice.
Captain America.
No.
Iron Man.
We need Miles Morales. We need our Spider-Man. And we need
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man!
That would have been fun, actually. But okay. I don't mind that one. That's fine. That's spice it up a little bit.
We need Spider-Man.
You're gonna piss so many people off because you're gonna have like a spider logo on there. Everyone's like, "Oh shit!" And then it's Miles, but everyone knows Miles now. If you realize that
Miles fucking
Miles
great.
Morales is kind of this the current generation's Peter Parker for sure. Like,
Miles is one of the only comic book characters to successfully outdo their legacy component in the sense of like everyone universally accepts them as the next generation of their character.
it wasn't at first. It took a while. It took these last like 5 years or so to like actually.
Yeah, because we had these stupid comic book boomers that were like,
No.
Spider-Man's
It wasn't that.
Spider-Man.
The story just didn't really click in until it was the other media that really took it off for that too. I think it was really like Spider
That's
Verse
fair.
and even Insomniac. I feel like everything besides the comics are what gave Miles his personality, which is not a bad thing. But like right now, it's interesting because like kids right now, it's not Peter Parker, it's Miles Morales, which is wild, right? Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. But I respect that. You know what? I feel like. Do you think you can get away with just doing a Spider-Man like split? Do you think is that, or do you think you're gonna stand steadfast and we're just doing Miles, or you're gonna do that whole like Ryu can be either like
I think that is how you
as your
stealth in the
statement?
other spiders.
Oh, so like
So he is Spider-Man, but it's Miles Morales. But then we can borrow that same mechanic, and if you're in Miles form, you get the electric abilities.
it's like an Echo fighter.
Exactly.
There you go. So we'll put slash Spider-Man.
Yeah. And I would also put slash. Oh fuck! What is the name she's going by now? I want to say it's like Spider Spectre, but Spider Gwen.
Spider-Man's.
Spider-Man's, yes. And he would be basically his Ryu of the Spider-Mans.
I think its default is Miles, but you can also
Yes.
like costume over other Spider heroes. Ghost Spider.
Ghost Spider. That's
You know what? That'd be sick. I think. You know what? I stand by that. So it's Miles, but you can costume over, and it'll be the other Spider costumes.
Yeah.
So Miles. All right, fine. Here's your classic Spider-Man costume. There's some Ghost Spider in there. I think that's fair. Capcom
now.
was a tough one.
Capcom is a hella tough
I
one.
stand
and
by-
still is.
I stand by how this happened the first time, which is you got a little goofy with the picks here, and I understand. Capcom can get a little goofy, but I think this is a lot more grounded than what you had, and that could be to a detriment. But I think I stand by what my original argument was. I'm glad that you believe me on that too, which is that we needed. If you got Wesker on there, you gotta have someone offsetting Wesker, and Dante is the only kind of badass that's gonna be like, "Fuck you!" Like we're gonna do things this way, and we don't need it. We just need a little bit of offset that villainy, right?
That's fair.
Asura from Asura's Wrath. Come on, City of Bernie.
No, we're not gonna do
would've been
that.
sick though.
It would be sick.
You
Here's
gotta
the
go
thing.
big with this one because you're representing a lot. There's a lot of stuff on the line for the whole Capcom legacy.
So here's the thing: we are missing Mega Man representation. So obviously,
don't fucking do it! I swear to God,
we gotta put Surbot in there.
Oh my God.
No, we're not doing Surbot.
Okay, thank God.
I would love. I would
You know what?
love.
Thank you for this. Hey, shout out to David, because David could get too goofy with this and get a little selfish with this. I mean, he has Jury, but it's not too selfish. She's a fan favorite, especially if you do Street Fighter 4 Jury. But like, David, there was a world where David picked Roger Jr. and Servbot.
I still think fucking Surbot should be here if nothing else, but I get it.
Fat Mega
But
Man.
I think that Mega Man needs to stay absent because I think. Again, in my brain, I'm planning we're doing reveals. It's Jeff Keighley's
Get a reaction,
Game
and it's
Awards.
gotta sell. You can't just be doing something that's not gonna sell. It's gotta be to the people that want to buy it.
So picture it: Rec Game Awards. Jeff Keighley of the Overwatch team is there presenting the Game Awards. The third person in a row has jumped on stage to say
Jeff Keighley has not had the mic for the last 20 minutes.
it's literally just turned into tag on stage.
Another baddie? Pepperoni?
No. So we've gone ahead, and Jeff Keighley's like, all right, we got our first representation that we're going to show off, and it's Miles Morales, also in just, Spider-Man. And then showing off Miles, and then the character switching abilities. And then he's like, but we're not done. We got one more pick for the Capcom side. And we're going to go ahead and give the fans
What's the trailer?
not
Give me the
necessarily what they
trailer.
want.
What's the trailer gonna look
But
like?
we're going to give them as close as we can give it to them.
What's the trailer open with?
All right. Picture it. PS2 era graphics. Pull up on the screen. You see a yellow life bar with an orange bar beneath it appear, with a little bit of a green skull on the left-hand side. A desert town slowly forms into view. And walking into frame is Gene from God Hand.
Jesus Christ. Gene from God Hand.
Gene from God Hand.
Out of everything you could have picked right there, that was not something I was expecting there.
A deep cut that everyone that is a PS2 era Capcom fan fucking wants is something new with God Hand, or at least fucking re-release God Hand. We're not gonna give you God Hand. We can't give you God Hand, but we can at least bring back Gene from God Hand.
I was hoping it would have been like a dinosaur from Dino Crisis or something.
It is one of the suits from Exoprimal.
Oh no. Unfortunate. Alright, Gene from God Hand. Alright. Alright, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That's the most unexpected pick I've seen. I agree, Pepperoni, I did it. I was not expecting that, but sure, that's fine.
No, again, you gotta go to the deep cut sometime.
Yeah.
Exactly, Steve.
Yep, alright. Darkstalkers, David.
Such a beautiful fucking roster that, again, you can't make an argument of new blood because there is no new blood, because fucking they refuse to make new Darkstalkers. So everything here is legacy. So we got the obvious choice. You know, we got our Morgan, we got our Jetta, we got our Dimitri. To add in a little bit of flavor, we got a Nakaris and Donovan here. Whom else do we add into this? Do we add in someone with a bit more legacy experience with being in crossover games like BB Hood? Or do we add in someone that maybe hasn't had a chance to go ahead and get that crossover game representation like QB?
So I love how David does this, because when David says that, it's like when you see a character announced as a Mii fighter where you're like, all right, well, they're not in. Could it be this person? No, it's not.
With that said, I think that we need to put the spotlight on a character that is definitely a fan favorite that doesn't often get into other things.
And Lord Raptor or Taliban, or maybe a secret character like Puppet Girl.
No, not Taliban. Jesus Christ, Talbane. John Talbane.
Or a secret character like the Puppet Girl.
No, this one actually, Crazy A Pepperoni was on the nose. We are doing John Talbane.
Taliban?
Yes, John Taliban.
That's a great name. John Taliban's a great name.
Now that is a band name, John Taliban.
All right. All right, David. Guilty Gear.
Oof. Fucking delicious list right here. There is never a wrong pick for fucking Guilty Gear. I mean, there is, but there, for most part, isn't. We got Soul, we got Eno, we got Faust, Ramathal, Nagato. All fucking banger picks, in all earnesty. It's very hard to go wrong with Guilty Gear. But... Oh, man, but... See, this is where my heart is a little... mixed, because again, my brain wants to go with the deep cut. My brain wants to go the deep cut route.
I think,
and there is a certain character.
You got a solid crew on here. I think because here's the thing, you can't do deep cut if like your group of 5 is already a little bit questionable. There's a couple of questionable rosters you have on here, and I think it's like, and I mean, we like it, but I mean, there's a couple for sure that I imagine if you got a super fan in here to talk about it and work with your logic, to be like, you know what, I still don't agree with it. But this one I feel like is solid enough that I think everyone would agree and would allow you a deep cut. But it's ultimately your vision. If you feel like it's too deep of a cut to get Warren a pop off, then that's understandable. Zappa.
I think I am going to go with the deep cut, because I think it's a deep cut that honestly would make long-term fans of the series pop.
Okay.
And we are bringing back Cliff Underson.
Is that Cliff?
It's with a K. It's Mortal Kombat Ease.
And then is it Anderson?
Yeah.
All right. Why?
Cliff was part of the Zappa. I would love Zappa to be on this list. I fucking adore Zappa, but I know I'm in the extreme minority on that one. Cliff was part of the original roster of Guilty Gear, and he's arguably the character that set a lot of things in motion in the sense of he refocused Soul. Soul is the titular Guilty Gear. Cliff helped to kind of give him a purpose and helped to kind of really get him into discipline and got him into the army and got him
So
into
you see a story mode where like they're going there and Soul's trying to match up to whoever our big bad was, like Omni Man, and the Cliff has to come in and give Soul that little bit of a boost to be like, yo, what are you doing, brother? Let's do this.
I mean, actually, that's a good Soul with his limiter removed. And if he still had the power from St. Elmo's Fire, that's a good point. Would he? That's an interesting thought.
I like the idea of like the OP dude still not being able to hold up against Omni Man. They just need a little bit of that push.
No, I mean Eno would Eno would solo him easy.
Oh, it wasn't Soul. It was Eno that we had against who was our crew against the big bads of the game?
Oh, we had like Dante in there. I think we also had like a villain. I think we threw Kazuya in with that as well.
Yeah. Kazuya, Soul, and Dante were up against the big bads.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though. I'm saying like in there, but you would need everyone, like imagine that crew like needs a little bit of a push.
That's fair. But yeah, if Eno was full powered, she would fucking solo Omni Man, no question.
Okay.
But I'd presume we would balance it as not her being full powered.
Hey, you're the story master there.
I mean, maybe at some point, if we really want to go down this rabbit hole even further, I could take some time to draft up a story.
All right, Blaze Blue.
All right, Blaze Blue. Fucking, this was such a hard roster to decide on. Again, for the same reason of Guilty Gear. I fucking adore everyone on this fucking cast for most part. Taokaka. I mean, we got Ragna. He's our titular hero. Rachel. Oh man.
See Hironi's comment.
No, let me take a look here. You know, I did choose not to put her on the base roster because I did feel like Bang already covered a little bit of the goofiness of the party, but maybe we do need a little more goofiness. Maybe we do need Taokaka on this list. Maybe she is.
Is that it? Are is that final answer?
Because we got two big villains in here with Terumi and Relius. So I think we do need to have more of a hero character in here. Actually, no. As much as I would love Taokaka to add a little bit more silly into here, I feel like we need a little bit more of an anti-hero in here. A little bit of the cold steel. We need Hakumen.
Spell it.
Hakumen. Because we don't have Jin here, and we don't have Noel. So I think if we're thinking of how to set up a big climactic versus, I think Hakumen needs to be here.
Okay. Skullgirls.
Ooh. You know what? I think we already have a lot of the main representative characters of the roster. I'm going to choose here to put in another fan favorite that is also, one, mechanically really interesting, and two, a bit more on that goofier side. And we're going to put Beowulf.
Spell it.
Beowulf, I think.
Oh, Beowulf? Oh, yeah, and then
Beowulf.
you probably called it too.
Yeah. Yeah, Black Dahlia I considered, but I think we do want to stay a little bit more lighthearted on the Skullgirls side. So Beowulf it is.
Juice. Hey. What are you doing? Okay. All right. Next up, Arcana Heart.
Hey, Kels, how it goes?
What up, Kels? It's like how Starfield Rabbit Hole. What up, boys? How's Wormhole? How's Starfield going? I'm excited to play that. You know what actually I want to play? I hear Sea of Stars is actually really good, so I download that as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to play that at some point. That one I'm looking forward to.
Painwheel would have been a good pick too, but Beowulf is a good pick as well.
Painwheel would have been good, but again, I wanted a little bit more of the goofier tone there.
Okay, Arcana Heart.
All right, so with Arcana Heart, this is basically my choices for this roster is trying to be as little cringe as possible, and that's really hard to do with this game's roster. So I think for the final pick for this one, I think we need to go ahead and do what we've tried to do with some of the earlier picks and lean more into the new blood for the series, because a lot of my picks aside from Xenia are classic characters. So I think we need to go ahead and slap in Weiss.
Weiss.
Yeah.
Really quick. Elko says, I see people are iffy on Starfield, but I'm loving it. Steve asks, is it on Game Pass? It's on Game Pass. Yeah, April, I agreed with you saying I was about to say it's a little hard to achieve.
Yeah. I adore it. Mechanically, genuinely one of the best fucking fighting game series, bar none. Mechanically, it is phenomenal what you can do with that game, but it's fucking cringe. And I wish it wasn't fucking cringe, because it's honestly a game that if ever you were like, oh, let's keep going down the rabbit holes of fighting games, it would be one of the ones that'd be like, bro, we're playing this, but it's fucking cringe.
All right, our guest, David. Here's the tough one now. We've gone through a bunch of our games, and we've gone through and allowed ourselves pretty much like one guess from each of those games. Now, here's the issue we have. Actually, no, I think, because we kind of got around that. Let's say we really largely allowed ourselves only one game, but that's not true. Hellboy was our weird pick, where he did come from a game that wasn't on our list, right? Because it was
Same with Link, yes.
No, well,
Hellboy's from Injustice.
Link was from Soul Calibur. We have Soul Calibur, but so was 2B.
Oh, that's right. He's technically in there because of that. Yeah.
2B was also Soul Calibur. So we have 2 Soul Calibur guests. 1 Injustice guest, 1 Killer Instinct guest, and then 1 Mortal Kombat guest. So it's a bit funky the way we're doing it, and that's kind of our weird thing. But I also don't disagree with it, because I mean, I guess I don't know. That's tough. I don't know if you want to fix that continuity error.
I think we do have to fix it.
Ooh,
I think we've set a precedent.
That someone's getting cut right now.
Yeah, I think we've set a precedent that, from what I've said, there are possibilities that we get game DLC packs. So I think we have to cut Hellboy.
Okay, but
because
then what about
he would be part of a potential Injustice lineup.
But what about our 2B and Link? You gonna have 2 Soul Calibur guests in here?
No, we're not.
Okay, because
so
yeah,
get rid of Link.
Ooh, no Nintendo people in this whole thing, huh?
Because maybe one day we get a Smash character pack.
Okay, so we have 2B Rash Omni-Man now. So now we gotta fill up with 2 more guests, or 3 more guests now, because we got DLC as well. So let's fix this up a bit. I'd say, so we now have MK, we have Killer Instinct, we have Soul Calibur guest characters. That means we can reach into Tekken. We can reach into, what else? Oops. What the fuck happened? Oh, there we go. We can reach into Tekken. We can reach into...
we could reach into Mortal Kombat. No, well, no, the Omni-Man is Mortal Kombat. So Tekken.
Ooh, we might. There's not really guest characters in Street Fighter, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah.
That might just be it. Like, we might have to just beggars can't be choosers in there.
So here is also where we potentially change the rules of what guest characters is. Do we limit ourselves to characters that were previously guests in fighting games? Or do we call this our guest characters? Now we have a new standard as well. Miles has also thrown a cog in the wrench, where technically Miles has not been in a fighting game.
Yeah, but also
he's Spider-Man.
You do Spider-Man. You got away with that a little bit, I think. I don't like the idea of us making brand new ones. I think we gotta stick to it, and I think the fact that we're so limited, I think that's kind of just the name of the game. So I say we put Link back on there because I don't agree with Smash Pack, David. I just don't agree with it.
You don't agree with the idea of Smash having a full dedicated five-character roster?
Because they have it's not Smash. You can't. You're it's a whole different game. It's not. You add what? You add Fox in there. He's not gonna be as speedy as he is in Smash. He's not gonna do all that. Half the game in Smash is like ledge trapping and like guarding you from like grabbing the ledge and stuff. Then half the kit like just off stage stuff. Like where you gotta. They're all original characters at that point. If you're integrating into like a fighting game like this proper. Except for Link.
I have a counter argument, but not for the way you're thinking.
Okay, hit me with it.
I mean, we have to have multiple modes. We can't just have versus and story mode.
Yeah, but now you gotta integrate. But then now you gotta create fight movesets for like 90 other characters.
No. What if we borrow a major feature of Smash? Assist trophies.
And make everyone else assist trophies in Smash?
Yeah, make all the Smash characters assist trophies.
We're already having to do a lot with the 2D and 3D thing.
Fair. That's fair. All right.
I just, like I said,
we're falling into, no, that's true. We're falling into developer scaling.
But also,
we gotta not do scaling.
And also, like I said, I appreciate how Smash is. Obviously, I love Smash. This feels like a love letter to the FGC. Smash is not part of that whatsoever.
That's fair.
Smash is its own thing, and I get it that if we incorporate it, I'm down with it. Obviously, if you would keep it Evo, that's fine. It's still a platform fighter, but I think once you start getting to that, then what about Nickelodeon All Stars? What about Brawlhalla? What about Multiverses? Now you gotta start adding the platform fighters in there. Now we've opened that whole can.
That's fair. It does open a massive can of worms.
Yeah. And like I said, I just. It's already too much having it figure out because I think technically we got to figure out like, is this a 2D or 3D fighting game? We're gonna ask that.
2D, 100%.
Okay, so then we got to turn Soul Calibur and Tekken into like 2D or have to do all that stuff. Or so I mean, they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're getting too crazy. So I think we limited Smash it out. And with that said, I think looking back, the fact that we don't really, I just realized in hindsight we don't really have that many games that could allow guests. I think we just hop Link back in. I think we break that rule a little bit, and that's fine, I guess. Like, I understand we don't put Hellboy in there unless you want to make a really quick like Injustice crew in there. But then I don't. Right now, I think we're at where we're at.
Yeah, I think Injustice would be like a DLC roster.
Sure.
Again, I think that would be like its own Injustice DLC pack.
Let's see. Just a thought. Or how about guest characters from other characters from other fighting games, like a character from TMNT, Tournament Fighters, Justice, Rumblefish. Just thought much more smaller or other fighting games that couldn't make it as a 5 roster.
Ooh, that's a good thought process.
So,
give me a second to cook here. Give me a second to cook.
Let him cook.
Let me cook. Because I'm going to come up with some of the wildest shit, and you're going to have to follow me along here.
I was going to say, though, do we... Because imagine if, like, your guest was just straight up Goku. Just, like, imagine, like, that's kind of wild.
That's kind of on the level I'm thinking of, where it's like, I don't want necessarily Dragon Ball Z to just have its own thing, but like
Imagine
if it's a guest character.
Omni-Man comes out and then like the camera pans around, you see him facing down Goku. Can you imagine that,
All
that
right.
trailer right there, David?
Yeah, I can. So give me a second. Let me cook here.
It's one of those like it's like that it's like the Sephiroth trailer where like the big bad like Omni-Man just fucked up the entire crew here. Everyone's all fucked up, and then you see Goku just punch the shit out of Omni-Man. Like one character from one fighting game and another from another fighting game until we get 5 characters from different rotating. I feel like that could be almost like a various category though, right, David?
yes. So maybe that's what we call it. Various.
The leftovers. Because like yeah, I like the idea a lot, Brony. I just don't know if I want it to be. Yeah, it is turning into Fortnite. I just don't know if I want to take up the guest roster though, right? Because guests are going to be the wacky. What the fuck? Why are we doing this again? Like,
All right.
if it wasn't for Soul
Well-
Calibur already having 2 people on there, I'd be like, where's Vader at? Come on, let's fucking let's quit fucking around. Let's put Vader in here. I have an idea of what I'm thinking.
Where is fuck? What's the name of that game? Ah, there it is. That's what it was called.
How about
Okay.
this? Actually, David. Actually, here's what's up. Let's harken back to what we were doing because I want to get one of your silly little ideas in here.
I'm almost done.
Gone versus Yoda would go crazy. You right, dude? Holy fuck! Yo, that'd be hype as hell. That'd be the most even matchup Gone had ever.
You know, it's funny because I on this list, not to spoil it, but I did decide to throw Gone in here.
See, see.
I'm cooking with this list. You gotta give me a second.
I'll let you cook for a second. We'll talk about it afterwards. Gone versus Yoda sounds like the funniest thing I've ever seen. I loved Gone's arcade ending where it was a looping video that never ended. I didn't make a 10-hour cut of that video. He's cooking.
All right.
He is cooked. Let's hear what you got before I start typing it.
Okay. So our revised guest list. This is going to be a combination of. Honestly, I'm taking the suggestion. It's going to be a combination of characters that have appeared as guest characters in prior fighting games, or characters that just genuinely would not be able to be in a full roster of themselves.
I know
we
you don't want to
couldn't
split that category.
Yeah, I don't want to split it.
Wow. All right. Sell me on that idea because I would split that.
The main reason why is because, like we've already kind of talked about, we would have to start hitting the same well over and over again. And so we would basically just be picking between Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur.
We're not Tekken at all. I remember that.
We do, though.
No, I'm
We're
talking
bringing
I'm
in
talking about on this.
Gone.
So hold on.
We're bringing in
I'm gonna
Gone.
put. Let's see. David's revised guest list. Okay. So
The revised
Gone.
guest list. We have Gone. We are bringing him back.
So this is. Are we? So let me. In this list, are you scrapping these 4?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna leave those there for reference, but you're scrapping those for us. This is if this
Yeah.
guest list doesn't exist. All right.
Yeah, so Gone is a callback to Tekken 3. Link is going to be there still, but he is going to be advertised as Smash. We're not advertising him as, yes, because he was in Soul Calibur. We're getting him, and this is so we can get a little fucky with making sure we have one representation per game.
That hurt you,
So
huh? The
he's-
fact that we have 2 Soul Calibur guests.
Yes. And that's because we would still have 2 guests otherwise, because how could we not include Games Gone By Season 2 Best Girl 2B?
Okay. That's your workaround.
That is my workaround. And then I've liked what we've built up with having Omni-Man as a big villain here. It is a little weird that we're getting him for Mortal Kombat and not for like a new and saving it for like a new Injustice, but whatever. It's the cards we've been dealt in life. Now, the final guest character is a representation of that category of we would not get a full roster for this. So, there's this little known crossover fighting game series called Blade Strangers, where it's a bunch of indie games getting together for their own 2D fighter. And I needed to go with a little bit of an extra goofy character. We got Gon in there. He can't be the only goofy character in this list from there. So you know who we're going to have? We're going to pull from the aether of Blade Strangers, Isaac from The Binding of Isaac.
I hate it. I don't. See, I let you cook a little bit too long. I think
You let me really cook here, because our last
you're
pick,
breaking
our
the
DLC pick.
Oh no,
our
your
DLC pick.
Okay.
Again, going off the theme that we are, this is going to be a character that we would not get a full roster of this fighting game. There's a certain game. There's many games that are infamous in fighting game history. Clay Fighter is one that I thought about putting a representation in here for. I thought about throwing in representation for Balls 3D. I honestly did think about Sonic the Fighters as an excuse. I even thought about putting in the Daytona racing car.
That's what I was gonna bring up. But keep going.
I almost was gonna put him in there, but you know what? There is one other character that I feel, in the history of fighting games, in the history of infamy, if we were to go ahead and present it essentially as the final character going into that pure meme territory, not necessarily going for a pop, but going for a reaction, who better than Shaq from Shaq Fu?
Okay, you got that one. All right, so here's my issue. I fought for Rash.
You did indeed.
And I still imagine this now. Okay, I'm gonna fix this up a little bit. Adrian's guest list. Okay.
All right.
I say we go back to what we're doing. Let me copy paste this. I understand we broke rules a little bit. That happens. It happens. We gotta figure out these two. Who to? So let's put a 2-star there. Okay. Now. We just got. I'd say look, because I say we just have the wild cards. This is our list of 5 characters of that caliber, and I think you had it right. I think Shaq as a final is just hilarious. You're right. How crazy is it though, if this is where we do start doing our thing? So like, maybe we do add Sonic. Maybe we do add Daytona car. Maybe we do add Clay Fighter. Clay Fighter. What else are we missing here? What'd you type in here again?
Isaac from Binding of Isaac.
And that's an actual fighting game proper?
Yes, Blade Strangers is a crossover fighting game of a bunch of indie games. It has Shovel Knight. It has Solange from fucking Sword Princess there, whatever the hell it's called. It has the little fishing girl from
what about Dive and Dive Kick? But look. See now, you got a whole ass list of wild cards in the most wildest of cards. Like, we can still add one more here. You added this is like I call it the wild cards, but this is like the meme part. And you know what? You don't want to add the whole DBZ roster. Goku's in there. Fuck it. There's your list of 6 games now represented in this game. Because you have guests and
But you would give Sega 2 representations like that
for Sonic and
because Daytona Car and Sonic
separate games. We're talking games. Like, this is leftover games, David. We're not We're not going through and singling out publishers. These are just separate games. Because
All right, I like your concept here,
because
and I'll follow up on it after you're done. I'll let you finish cooking.
Because this is chaos. We have a set of 6 in here with 3 characters that are from games that we've played in here, and 3 from games that are not in here. Like, why are you breaking this? This is obviously built to expand, and for the sake of balance purposes, I know Gon's like, just I want someone in there like Gon because it's funny. Balance purposes wise, we'd be roasted because you're gonna want some funny meme Gon players, and Gon players are gonna have to be just as balanced as everyone else. We're not trying to balance Gon. No one's trying to balance Gon. Oh, you know what?
No, we don't have to
David,
balance
David,
shit. This is MVC style. This is not going to be a properly balanced game.
I have an idea. There was an idea. Okay, we need 2 more. Okay. I actually have... So we need one from Tekken, David.
We do. We have Gon.
I don't want Gon in there because I think balance is out the window with Gon. No one wants a balance Gon.
No, we're not balanced. This is a Marvel style game. We're not worried about balance.
I want.
You just want to put Negan in here. I get it. I understand.
I was gonna put Noctis in here.
Oh fuck! All right.
Because we get some Final Fantasy representation along with Link. Like we get some more of that. But look, that's not over. Because we got one more, David. Here's the thing. We got one more. I'm gonna close this up by like 1. We'll just put that there. Okay. We got one more, right? And we're thinking like, what else, right? We got Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct. There's some Soul Calibur. There's Tekken. What else? There's no more guest characters, right? What that's a lie. There is one game in this that not necessarily we've
Oh fuck! I didn't think about that. Let me see if I can guess. Is it going to be Kratos?
No. You're not far off from where I'm trying to go.
Because I forgot about all the weird shit that was.
Yeah, see, you're not far off, but there's a game that I'm pulling from that we've not actually used, but I feel like we're allowed to use it because it's all here.
What's that?
We go one of 2 ways, but I think we can go one of 3 ways. But actually, one of 4 ways. I think we go one of 4 ways.
Is it Cole from Infamous?
That's one of those 4 ways, but I'm not picking Cole.
Interesting. All right.
I think we just go. I think we just go Pac-Man.
All right.
I think Pac-Man roll up.
What style Pac-Man?
No, I just think we straight up just pull up from him from that Street Fighter Cross Tekken Pac-Man.
Oh hell yeah!
I think he rolls up in there in that what's it suit, and then he just
in the Mokujin suit.
Yep, I think he just goes in there and rolls like that. I think that's our guest character. We could do Cole if you want. I don't mind if you want to do Cole, but I think Pac-Man kind of he has that little bit of flair of funny in there. I think because we got Rash as funny, but like Pac-Man, Noctis, Omni-Man, Link, and 2B, they're a little bit too realistic, and we got Rash out there. We need to add a little more goofy on there. I think there. If you want to figure out in here, I get that. Kratos is not a bad idea, but then we got Omni-Man. We're doing a 2-2 there. If we could figure out like one more guest, we could knock out 2B and Link to get rid of that whole like you have 2 Soul Calibur guests. I can tell it's bugging you.
So here is the thing. I found the solution for it. I don't like the solution for it, but I found the solution for it.
So really quick.
And it's we get rid of 2B.
So hold on. It's separate from the roster building. Honestly, Microsoft made another KI as a Microsoft crossover fighter. You can see Chai from Hi-Fi Rush there. He would have an amazing finishing ultra combo. I really hope with this new Killer Instinct update, if I'm gonna download it, I'm gonna play the hell out of it because I want to show some support to that game. if they see like a big rush of support, I hope that we just get season 4. Just like genuinely make this a fucking. I don't understand how they just don't do that at this point. They could add season 4 and make it just all Bethesda and Activision characters. Just make it that fucking. Make it this. I just think that's just a cool idea to make their Smash Bros. Just a fighting game. That sounds sick to me. Like it's such a. Cool
I
idea.
agree, but I don't. I would want a whole new fucking Killer Instinct.
I get that, and I don't mind that at that point. But if I can take, if I have to take what I can get, season 4 with that, fuck it, I don't care. But like, the preferred is start it all over and make it with that the idea. Okay, you want to get rid of Good Girl 2B?
I do, and here's the thing. This is where you could get your weird, potentially once in a lifetime.
By the way, wasn't it 2P?
2P was the meme second skin for her.
Oh, okay. Okay, you want to get rid of Girl 2B? That it hurts because Nier representation.
And I would get rid of Rash. Follow me along here. Follow me along here. Here's why.
You just took out 2 of my favorite characters in this whole last roster, so you got.
Here's the thing. This could be the one official time we truly get the big 3 swinging at each other.
Oh,
we have Link.
But we gotta get rid of Omni-Man because that's more combat.
Wait, if we get rid of Rash, we throw an Arbiter, and then we get rid of 2B.
No.
And it's stealing from your Pac-Man idea a little bit, but then we could throw in Kratos. And we have 3 prominent characters
we have an issue.
From each big 3.
Here's the issue. Hold on. Let me type this in real quick. We have an issue, David. And I think we might need I think for the love of everything that's holy in this world, I think we have to break a rule here because I think there's no other way about this. Hold on. Let me pull this up, David.
All right.
Now. Oh no, this can happen. Oh, this hurts. Okay, but no, we can. We have to. All right, David. To make this happen, we have to do something. I'm gonna get crazy. Let me cook this time.
Let me. I'll let you cook. You cook, my friend.
Okay. You're right. Let's get rid of Rash. Actually,
all right. Crazy A Pepperoni is gonna work on his own. Yeah, go ahead and do that, buddy. Yeah. Like I think this is kind of like a neat thought exercise the community can get in on.
What was your rationale with Kratos? We have to get rid of Omni-Man, or you said because Kratos isn't in more
no. Combat. Oh fuck, that's right. So it'd have to be Cole then. It wouldn't be as impactful.
We're succumbing to the rules too much, and we're getting rid of the hype. But here's the thing: we can do this, David, but it requires something, and it's not quite there, but it's there enough that I think we can kind of. David, you forgot about a certain something. There is actually another series we have not represented here that could allow for this stream to happen.
What would allow our meme to not just be a dream?
David, I present to you Nicole 458 from Dead or Alive 4. So if we put the work of adding DOA pack into this, we can add Nicole, who is not Master Chief John 117. However, if you look at that Spartan and don't add the name on there and just say Spartan, who the fuck cares? You got a Spartan fighting Kratos, fighting Link, and then that's all. Now here's the thing, David, is I get it. Yes. We balance this to a meticulous degree. Do we balance it to the point that like we give up? Like how would fans feel about that? That we've given up the legendary potential that could have been like a Spartan versus Kratos versus Link. But we had to get rid of Omni-Man, who we talked about extensively as being like a badass as a villain in this entire thing. Like the fact that there's a guest. That's the bad like that's the same thing I can check it. It makes you smile. Whenever there's a guest that fucks shit up, that's kind of badass to me. Are we breaking all of our like rules to this extent just to get there? And honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. Now that we get rid of there, I want Rash. Rash is so fucking funny to me. I love Rash. I was doing this for the sake of that, but if I'm my own thing. I put Rash in there because it's just funny to me. But you can do that. You can do that.
I think my own brain wants the rules to be followed. Oh, what's that?
Oh, I agree, Kels. Hold on. I will do that. It hurts. All this hurts because I would have a meme character in here, but listen. All right, fuck it. Like, I don't give a fuck. Whatever we're doing this, I don't care. But tell me, General Rom versus a Spartan in this game is not just fucking badass. Like, how badass is it that, like, one of Microsoft's franchises have to clean up the blunder of the other one? There's a lot of stuff that we can do.
Rule bendy territory.
We're getting into it, but then look, if we do this, you can have your little funny wild cards here too that have not been touched, by the way. In fact, honestly though, here's the thing, David. Let's be real. Let's be real. Tell me your last fighter of the whole series coming out being Goku isn't what the dream is.
I think they didn't get announced together. Honestly, like, no. Here's the thing. So picture it that way. So picture it as like, okay, we're gonna announce the final DLC for this game, and we're gonna go ahead and we have the build up. This is at the second year anniversary. We're not gonna drag the game out long. Second year anniversary for this game. We're getting the final DLC character added. And we go ahead and Jeff Keighley of the Overwatch team is on stage. For the 9th time, someone has been shot trying to get onto stage. It is just a bloodbath.
It looks like that. It looks like the Shinra Tower.
And Jeff Keighley is like, goddamn, I just had one thing to show off. And it is the final reveal. And we get that meme trailer. Where we get showed off Shaq, and it's done up almost in like the fucking.
No, I see. But we're breaking.
No, wait. Let me finish. So we get this trailer that shows it off, and it's done in like the fucking Looney Tunes aesthetic, where it's a Space Jam. It's building up like a Space Jam.
I let you
let
talk.
me cook.
I know.
And it's building up like it's Space Jam, and you have all the other characters from this fighting game on it, and then that's where we get the reveal of Shaq as being part of this. I know it's not Michael Jordan, but it's just in my brain how I want this all to go. And then at the end, they're like, "But wait, there is one more person we need to fill out this team."
So wild cards is the entire DLC category, I'd say.
Yes,
this goes in. That comes out. I'd say that these are all like this is like a whole category.
That's all pure DLC then.
Yeah, I think it's funnier that way because I can see that. I think you start off wild with Sonic, get a little silly here for a little while, and then you go off at the end. But let's go back here, David. I know we need to leave before we leave this podcast. We need to fix this up. Something needs to happen. But like, this is a badass list. But like. It hurts that one of my favorite games of all time just missed this list because of our silly little rules.
What's that?
2B, dude. Like, how are we losing 2B? I get it that there's a synchronicity around everything. I get it, but like, think about yourself as a fan. All right, let's put yourself in the fan's shoes. What would you care more about? The will to make something happen like this, or the fact that everything is balanced? What would you care about more at the end of the day? What years down the line when you're playing this game? It's a legacy. What do you want to happen?
Yes.
What does that mean?
What that means is because I we haven't set up the idea of bringing in Dead or Alive as a DLC thing. If we actually were going through with that, perfect. Otherwise, I would replace Spartan with Arbiter and get rid of General Ram. I would replace Kratos with Cole. And then I would keep to just trying to do one per.
Look how gross this looks. Like, hold on. I went from full mass to like half chub at that point, dude. I'm sorry. This whole 2B situation is exactly how fans of fighting games feel when their favorite character isn't included.
Yes.
Crowd, where's GTA, Jeff? It's in this fighting game. Y'all can shut up now. I see. Oh, wait, you said you'll get rid of Spartan?
Yeah.
I think you could do DOA.
All right. So
I'd say,
if we
how
were
about
to
this?
plan
How about
to
this?
do
How about
a
this? How about
DOA,
this? I'm just going to pretend we have DOA up there, right? Somewhere
All right.
DOA is here.
All right.
Okay, whatever.
So we have an imaginary DOA roster there then.
Yeah, because I'm sorry. This is too good.
All right. So that's fair. So we get the Spartan. We can then bring back a representative from Killer Instinct. So Rash.
Oh, fuck. You're right. I didn't see. I brought up a can of worms with that Kratos thing too, because that Kratos being here would have been.
Kratos also technically could be Soul Calibur, which is the frustrating thing.
Can he?
Yes, Soul Calibur Broken Destinies on the PSP. He was a guest character.
So I think who mentioned it up here? I wanted to scroll back to it. Let's see who said it. Who said it? Who said it? Who said it? I want to get it before. Kel said it. Soul Calibur has a banger list of guest characters. You're right. Like
It does.
probably the best set, I think. Mortal Kombat is pretty up there too, because I imagine what's cool is like Mortal Kombat. I love the theme that Mortal Kombat sometimes does. So like having like a whole ass list of just the scary movie killers. That was a badass idea.
I mean, unironically, like throwing Terminator in here would be fucking great.
You know what? If we had not spent so much time on Omni-Man about that, I can fuck with Kratos in there. I think we just shot ourselves in the foot by getting too hyped up about what Omni-Man could bring to the table in terms of like a fucked up like story.
It is the frustrating thing that like if you do remove Omni-Man, not that we're lacking villains, but like he really would be that like, oh fuck, because like Ogre would be someone that's like, okay, yeah, I could see Ogre kind of being up there.
Omni-Man is the OP one that needs to be tamed.
Yeah.
We fucked up. Unless you're willing to find out like a villain that could step in Omni-Man's shoes. I can replace Omni-Man if we can find someone on the caliber of Omni-Man to wreck shit.
The only way we could do that is if we threw in Injustice. Because then we would just replace him with actual Superman.
That's such a boring ass. I hate that. I hate that. Yeah, I refuse to be part of this whole lazy like we need to make Superman a bad guy because he's the only one that's like OP enough to be that like. I refuse to be part of that. I understand what you're saying and that's a valid thing, but like Rash vs TMNT goes hard. Fuck.
Because I mean, just looking at what I got here, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where. Technically, yeah, if you did Ino at full power, she is a literal god. So, yeah, she could fuck a lot of shit up if you had her in that state. Terumi arguably has a lot of weird fucked up shit and powers he can do.
Look at your wild cards real quick. Imagine.
There you go. He's the villain. We make Saitama the villain. Fuck it.
What's his name? Could be kind of. What's his name? Who's the? Boros.
Oh, from what?
One Punch Man.
Oh yeah, he's definitely not.
The only reason you can't say that is because One Punch Man one punched him, but also like One Punch Man's literally OP.
No, because they explain it later on. Boros basically came to Earth in order to fight Garu, and he
Oh, is that what
believed
happened
that
later
Garu.
on?
Huh?
Is that what happened later on in the manga?
Yeah,
Or-
so Boros makes mention when Saitama's kind of talking to him that, he heard that there was someone on Earth that could actually challenge him. He didn't know about Saitama. No one knows about Saitama. That's kind of the whole thing. He came to Earth because of the next major villain, which is Garu.
Dude, hold up. One Punch Man versus Omni Man goes hard.
It does only because of what I know of where the manga is currently at.
Do I need to catch up on the manga? What manga number are you on?
I am on the latest issues. I can't remember what number it
I
is.
need to catch up randomly. Don't spoil a single thing for me, but
No, I won't. I'm just looking up what the chapter number is.
25?
I think it's like 183 or something.
Oh, with that. Yeah, I'm going with volumes.
Gotcha. I think it's like 28 then.
What the fuck am I on? Hold on. Keep talking.
28 is the latest volume, which was collected as of June 23rd. So the next bit of 93. 93 is the latest chapter, but it's been a while since a lot of them have been combined together.
Okay, so you're saying only the latest thing is interesting.
No, it's been building up for a while. It's really hard to explain without getting into the spoilers, but
But I need to catch
if you
up
want,
then.
yeah, you really need to catch up. It's so fucking good.
Fuck is my... Continue.
Yes. So Saitama would be, honestly, no cap, would trounce Omni-Man. Not just because of like the traditional argument, which was, oh, Saitama's a fucking joke character, so of course, but like what we have been building to for a while in the manga now, no, Saitama would trounce Omni-Man and it would not be a competition.
Is there like anyone at all in any FGC game made that would even match up?
Ino at full power would.
Okay.
Depending well, here's the thing. It depends entirely on the outcome of One Punch Man's story.
Is it wrapping up or what?
It looks to be that it looks to be going that way because of power escalation.
Yeah, at some point, like that's kind of the point of that, where it's like how much farther do you go?
Well, I mean, they're taking it to the highest point you can.
Without say less. Now I understand where you're going with it, so let's not.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things where technically no, there's no one there that could do that.
Avery says all Might, but One Punch Man would stomp Omni Man extremely hard.
All Might
God
at full
damn it.
power.
Fuck. See, bro, I need to read Invincible because like I know I would fucking love it. I don't have fucking time. I don't have time for this shit. Like, I want to do so much.
Plus, you still got Berserk that you need to get caught up on.
I haven't cracked over shit, dude. Like, it genuinely, like, stresses me out how much I want to do shit and get shit done. And then, like, got games gone by that we're knocking out, which is, like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because it's like, Final Fantasy 7 at some point needs to be knocked off my fucking list. Like, it's egregious I've not played that as a gamer, but, like, fuck, there's just not time to do all this shit. Twin Peaks?
Yeah.
Berserk, Invincible, One Punch Man. Now I need to reread.
Oh, I'm almost caught up on Invincible. Speaking of which, for the series,
I have the whole thing. Let me see. I'm gonna see what manga number I stopped at, so I can just like bulk purchase next paycheck. I think I might just go through it because You're hyping me up, and I've been like on my mind has been like wavering. It's like I need to just read these already because I've been.
It's been One Punch Man manga has been so fucking good.
It always is, but like it's that thing where I read them years ago,
Fair.
and I just need to reread them now at this point because it's been so long.
Also, Kel's in the chat. Omni-Man isn't even the strongest version. Like that's true. He's like top 5, but he's not strongest.
Yeah, see, you're saying that, and I'm like, fucking hell, I need to go watch this already or read this.
I think that's the hard part. Is I think that we set ourselves up with too high of a power ceiling with him.
Is that it? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Because if we take out Omni-Man, you could almost have like a fair free-for-all between a lot of these characters. But Omni-Man is what kind of makes it so that way you would potentially have to have the weird team-ups.
But like Omni-Man also makes it feel like that's why Dante can go in, right?
Dante at full power? That's a good question.
Because you were mentioning that before. Like we had a crew that you felt could rival this.
Yeah, I feel like if you were having Dante, whatchamacallit there, Kazuya in his double form, and
we had
I think we had Soul as part of that too with his limiter off. And honestly, I think I had Magneto in there too, just because, but on principle, Magneto would not
Kazuya,
fucking
Soul,
let him
and
stand.
Dante.
Yeah. Because the hardest part about Omni-Man is the fact that he regens and he has an insane level of endurance. So you basically need to constantly be damage burning him while not losing out.
It sounds like a fun boss battle.
Yeah.
It's kind of what he is.
Like, he's effectively a DPS check. Like, he's a real-world DPS check.
Alright, this one comes out. The next One Punch Man volume comes out later this month, actually, so...
Yeah, and the volumes are, like, almost 50 chapters behind.
How much is that in the grand scheme of things?
A lot.
Because I'm only going to read volumes just because it's nice having the volumes this way.
I mean, that's the responsible way to do it. It's technically the legal way to do it.
Volume 24. Yeah, I need to fucking read Invincible already. I might just do that just because I know it's definitive. Alright, let's see. What do I have in my cart? Okay. Alright. Dave, we've been moving 2.5 hours. I kind of want to kick back and watch some shit, but
yeah.
I think at the very least this is a fun conversation to have. I don't feel like we need to like definitively at the end of the day. I think this is kind of fun. If we want to come back to it again, I think there's obviously
I think we do have to, before we end this off, I think we do have to break our rule that I'm trying so hard to keep to.
Because I'm
I think I think you do have a point. That Cole, as much as I like the idea of Cole because he's that kind of legacy pick, and he's that kind of like, oh shit, yeah, Infamous for like the real PlayStation diehards. I think we do need to have it be Kratos.
Okay.
So
I think. Okay, and we keep Omni-Man. Are we doing that? We keep them.
I think that if we want to keep to the idea of like the one big villain of villains, yes. I think that if we want to actually have a lot more variety of what we can do, no. Perfect.
That sucks because like yeah, like on the grand scheme of things, is that kind of badass and how we're on the power scale everything? Sure, but I'm sorry, I just love 2B as a character. I think 2B is just phenomenal to have. And you know what's cool? Here's a cool thing. Yokotaro's a motherfucker, and David now put himself in the near universe somehow, some way, and Yokotaro will have to collaborate with David on how to keep that lore consistent.
That's true. You know what? I'm gonna say we get rid of Dead or Alive altogether. Get rid of that Spartan. Put Arbiter in there. Because it's not like we're putting Master Chief in there. We're putting in fucking spin-off Spartan.
That's true. That's true. But also,
as opposed to our boy RB.
Yeah. I know, but we almost had David. I almost had you.
You almost did.
Nicole 458. Because she's canon too.
She is canon, but it's one of those things that I don't want to think of Dead or Alive DLC list for this, so we're keeping with this.
All right, there you go, chat. And actually, so let's do away with everything else.
And then the wild cards will be a maybe one day we'll tidy those up a little.
You don't like that list? Come on.
I don't think I would actually want Clay Fighter there. No.
Saitama?
No.
I always thought that was a dumb mechanic in One Punch Man. Well, I think how it should.
I mean, it's a clever mechanic, but
no, you know how it literally should have been was instead of having his like fight meter like hurting him, it's a board meter. You punch him until he gets KO'd, but that's just him being bored. Like, all right, I'm over this.
fair.
Because I feel like it's so weird.
I think if you wanted him to be an actual fighting game character, then yes.
Right. All right. That's where we're at. There we go. Blue Rupees has once again had me digging out shit, and now I got all my One Punch Man mangas stacked.
Hell yeah.
Gonna have to go do that soon. I think I might try to do Invincible. I'm gonna barge through FF7. Thanks for cooking, says Steve.
Anytime.
I'm gonna try to barge through FF7. We'll see. I'll give you guys an update like on Friday or Saturday if we're doing that on Monday, just because like I said, there's stuff going on here that I'm prioritizing, rightfully so. Gonna shake that off, and then I'm gonna fix this name before I go. Gotta do this all janky, but I'm just too lazy to fix things. If already says I'll work on my roster and show when I'm done, do it. Yeah, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. Hopefully we do. I would love to get FF7 out of the way first, but yeah, we'll see. Worst case, it gets pushed back a week, which should not derail plans too much. We'll still have Resident Evil at the end of the month and all that. Anything else? Any time to do the line of crack and coke, says Hey Pepperoni. That'll be our new shirt.
No time like the present.
No time like the present, indeed. Anyway, that's Blue Rupees, episode 220. Keep track for us to keep an eye on Games Gone By. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I feel like I was going to say something, but can't think of it, so it doesn't exist. Hell yeah. David, send us out.
Fuck the police.
All right, stream. Adios.